everybody. Welcome to Roundtable Live for November 25th, 2016. I am BaerTaffy with Northern Lion, Mathis Games, Rock Lee Smile, Last Gray Wolf, and AlpacaPatrol, our recurring circle of guests. How's it going, you two?
They're called the Pokemen.
That's true now.
Wow.
Cool. Doing good, doing good. Shiny hunting?
Oh, yeah.
I've already got two.
Oh.
Cheated, though.
Yeah,
When
fire sheep.
When you go shiny hunting, do you use a fork or do you use your fingers?
I don't want to talk about
This is welcome to Six White Bearded Dudes Discuss the Proper Way to Eat Fish and Chips on a Friday. I am
Black
Bear.
Friday.
Yeah, on
And
Black
that's
Friday.
what the Roundtable can be about now.
I think so. I mean,
Honestly, I feel like there's more meat there than like video games.
Kind of agree. Dog Thoughts Podcast, here we go.
fucking video games are run their course, man. We got the Nintendo Classic coming out. We're going full circle now. It's just going to become the resurgence of every console from 1996. All right. Well, we do have a docket today that we're going to try to run through. We're going to start off with EA's new stance on sponsored content, which is very different from how they felt in 2014. Also going to be discussing Ubisoft's new approach to DLC. They no longer want gamers to have to buy it for the full experience, which is a generally positive note. The Steam Awards are here, including such remarkable categories as I'm Not Crying, There's Something in My Eye Award, and the Villain Most in Need of a Hug Award. We're going to be analyzing those in depth, let me tell you. Also going to be discussing briefly Rec Room over on Steam VR, as well as Lazerbait. We're going to talk Dishonored 2, since we didn't get a chance to get to that last week. The Agony Demo as well, same case there. And then these two Pokemen will tell us all about Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Mm-hmm. Say Dishonored in there again?
I did say Dishonored 2,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Sorry.
All right, well, let's begin the discussion, shall we? Let's begin 2 hours of video game conversation, boys and girls.
That sounds boring.
Doesn't it, man? I can't believe people watch 66 episodes of this stuff. EA has put the hammer down on their influencer program, more or less, including new rules for disclosure for sponsored content. This is sort of coming as a result of the Federal Trade Commission beginning to crack down quite a bit more heavily on the game industry, it seems, particularly the YouTubers and the streamers in that industry. It's, it was a much bigger issue a couple of years ago, I think, when it wasn't really clear what was sponsored and what wasn't. There was a lot of a gray area there, and people weren't properly disclosing. Now I think, for the most part, we've had this conversation a couple of times, but I think for the most part, the content creators have wised up and are now beginning to, properly disclose when content has been sponsored. But this from EA, coming from the bigwigs, of course, is going to mean a lot more. That will, I assume, lead to the bigger players, especially being held accountable when they're trying to be sneaky.
And like really good timing for this as well. Like 2 weeks after all of their games for 2016 have already released, including like 3 weeks of releasing their biggest ones. But I mean, it's a good thing. You can't say it's hard to say it's not a good thing. It kind of strikes me that it's weird that you have to say it, I guess, now.
Right.
If you're large enough that you're getting sponsored deals from a company like EA, it's kind of surprising that they have to be like, well, if you're not already saying it's sponsored, you have to put like this watermark on your content. But
I gotta hand it to Sony also. They were a bit proactive on this even a year ago. I remember when they gave me a code for Ratchet and Clank, they made it very, very clear that you have to disclose that it's sponsored content. I think they even went further too. I think they wanted you to put a link to their like privacy policy or something to do with their disclosure policy. So it's like, that's good. They were on top of shit a while back.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't even for a sponsored deal, was it? I remember getting the code from them.
They just gave me a code, and they're like, you got to tell everybody.
Yeah, you got to make damn sure people know that you got that code for free from us, which, I mean, that's fine, too. That's
no
good.
problem. Whatever. If you guys want me to disclose, I'll disclose anything you want me to disclose. I'm fine.
I'm going to pull down my shorts, I'll disclose this, huh?
Well, the question is, right, like, would those companies be hit by the FCC if they don't make it clear in the sponsorship deals that the...
Well, the FTC, I think, would be the one to hit them.
Sorry,
but I imagine now, though I think that's the vibe we're getting, is that the FTC is actually starting to pay attention to this as opposed to just kind of let it brush under the bridge, considering the games industry has never really been at the forefront of legal battles in copyright and all that, or not copyright, sorry, but the disclosure of sponsored content. So I think now that EA and Activision and companies like them are obviously very big players in media, I think the FTC is starting to change their stance a bit.
And they're going to go after companies though, not the individual. That's what I was saying. It's like, comparatively, because like I wonder if it's a case of the YouTubers were coming to court and saying like, well, I didn't know I had to disclose it. I don't know this rule. I mean, they never said that I needed to disclose this, and maybe that's why this is happening.
That's a good question. Yeah, it makes me wonder like what the process would be there. So say with EA now having these rules set in place, if we were to discover that somebody like PewDiePie made a Battlefield video without proper disclosure, who would be brought to justice there? Yeah, that's a good question. Who's really responsible in that?
I mean, GameStop had issues with M-rated games and those being sold, and it was largely self-policing, right? Mm-hmm. So if you had sold a game at a GameStop to a minor and didn't ID them, that GameStop would get a fine, which would then get covered by the company, and then you'd get fired, obviously, because, screw you.
Right.
But it would be the company that takes responsibility for the individual. I would think this would follow suit in a similar way.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I think it's a lot harder to go after the YouTubers anyway. Their whole position is a lot more confusing legally, I think. A lot easier to just go for the companies.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about how they would pursue that, because I have no idea, honestly. Like the whole "I'm not a lawyer" thing definitely applies here, but
you can't just say you didn't know the law, so I'm immune to it.
Right?
That isn't how law works.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is like I've always seen the FTC go after, or at least in recent memory, right, with the whole thing, they're going after the people who are the offenders, not necessarily the companies who allowed this to happen, So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, this all feels like it's still part of that like 2014 legacy for me, where like the Machinima Xbox One M13 campaign happened, and also Shadows of Mordor, which still like blows me away. Which is like, the game is good, and you're like, anecdotally. Just throwing it out there, we tried to get a review copy of Shadow of Mordor, and they're like, hey, we got this sponsored deal that it would be awesome if you became a part of. And I was like, it seems a little shady. Can you just like give me the game and I'll cover it for free? And they're like, nah, we're only giving out obviously the YouTubers part of the sponsored deal. So like we'll pay you to play it, but we're not going to give it to you for free.
Man, that's weird.
So backwards to me.
Yeah, that's weird.
That situation's especially bad too, because if they would have given it to you and then other people got outed for a thing you didn't participate in, you could have ended up grouped in with them.
Right.
And been accused of not disclosing something.
Yeah. It would have just been an assumption.
It's the same thing that happened with the Xbox One campaign that Machinima ran. So like it was particularly very annoying. You got to be like, well, I read the things that come into my inbox, and that was stupid, so I said no to it. But you're still going to catch backlash for it because of the way other people act.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, way to dodge the bullet.
Lucky me, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think all the same, though, that question still remains, I suppose, of really who would be responsible in those circumstances. But it is nice to at least see EA coming forward and basically, putting the hammer down here. So should be good movie. I think, as I mentioned, I think generally the populace of YouTube and Twitch are now fully aware of the fact that if they're not disclosing, it is, they are probably aware of the fact they're being really shady. And doing something underhanded.
There's always new players though in the world of YouTube and Twitch, and as they come into this, there's no guarantee anybody's going to know particularly what the rules are, even though it should be fairly obvious.
Sure.
So as much as there's going to be people that have been doing this for years that do get it now, there's still going to be occasional offenders that are just like, oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Moving on from that, Ubisoft. VP of Live Operations Anne Blondel-Jouin. I probably just butchered your name, and I apologize for that. And what
Sorry,
Ubisoft? Try it one more time here. Anne Blondel-Jouin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean,
I tried.
It's good effort, at least.
Ubisoft more or less changing their stance on DLC. So they have had a very positive experience, of course, with Rainbow Six Siege. We all can tell that just looking at the book and judging it by its cover. But it seems there's been an even deeper seated effect with basically their entire corporate outlook on DLC. And no more DLC that gamers have to buy for the full experience. So let me just read this verbatim, a quote from here. The key is, if it's not adding something on top of the actual experience of the game, then it's no good, because you'll be asking for more money for the wrong reasons. Also, if the content is compulsory for the gamers, it's no good as well. It's a way to deliver more fun for gamers, but they have a choice to go for that extra fun or not. And then they go on to like an analogy of an amusement park where you can go on the rides, but you've got your games and your shops which you can go and spend extra money on and have that experience too. So, I mean, yeah, this seems pretty forward-thinking, pretty good for gamers overall. I like the mentality, right?
Very forward-thinking for 2010, yes.
Not only that, but like those are words. Let's see if they actually
show
up on those practices.
Well, they've more or less done so here with Rainbow Six's DLC strategy. That's kind of like the focal point of the article, as well as the fact that they are just beginning to give away these new maps and content for Rainbow Six, which smart. I mean, they're not doing dumb things, which I don't know if I should necessarily applaud them for. They're not trying to milk every penny out of every person still playing Rainbow Six, which is, that seems like common sense to us, but has been happening quite a bit with these games that, get a surge of popularity and then get killed by doing that very thing. So this is a positive still in that note too.
Yeah, I can't pretend that this is actually a bad thing. It's just the idea of me being cynical just comes from this place of like, I could obviously tell you're trying to buy goodwill right now with this move. And I'm not opposed to it, but transparently, like, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, sure.
But do it. Go ahead, please.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if this is like the beginning of a trend, then it's a good thing, right? Like,
sure.
Because, I mean, I think a lot of companies now are kind of, hopefully, maybe I'm crazy, but hopefully are kind of seeing that, like, you don't actually have to be a total scumbag with microtransactions and DLC and stuff to make money. I mean, with successes like Dota and Overwatch, where it's just all cosmetic and stuff, more companies are kind of getting away with that now, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, when Dota came out, people were like, oh, okay, so they're only going to make money on just cosmetics, nothing to do with the game. Can they actually make it viable?
Multiple millions of dollars later.
Exactly, yeah. And people thought, like, okay, but it's Valve, right? So it's Valve and it's Dota. Of course they can do it. Can anyone else do it? But it seems like more companies are now being able to do that and get away with it. So, maybe that's a trend for the future, which is good for everybody, really, right?
No, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Titanfall 2 is doing it as well. They get free maps coming in like 5 days. It's going to be free, I think, perpetually. That's the plan, at least. And I think Halo 5 even had a fairly good microtransaction system. I remember their requisitions, whatever it was, that had it's like Ann described. It's an on top of the game edition that is not required to have the core experience. So yeah, I really enjoy that model. It just works so well.
I wonder if there's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Austin.
So once Call of Duty jumps on that train, we'll know it's.
Oh yeah, has anyone played Infinite Warfare? Because I don't know what their system is in that, but
I haven't. But I mean, I'm just assuming that it's still, because remember back in the day, like Modern Warfare 2, you'd pay like $25 for 3 maps.
Yeah.
Well, that's still happening. I thought they had added the supply drop thing where you have to pay to open crates like Counter-Strike.
Yeah, they have that now. I don't know.
I think you can buy it with in-game currency, so I'm not 100% on that.
But
yeah, I have no idea.
They're the kings of expensive DLC, so
right.
We'll know for sure that whole thing's gone when they're on that.
I mean, fond memories of those map packs for sure.
They were great.
I was going to add too that I wonder if this has to do with a shift in thinking among the higher ups, that instead of sort of like sacking and grabbing everything they can in this industry and then leaving it in rubble and moving on to some other venture, is this more a signal that they feel a little more comfortable with making longer term investments and that this isn't going to just all fall apart? Because the way that they had scheduled all of these payment processes sort of seems like they intended to take it for as many dollars as it was, wreck all the goodwill, and move on to something completely different.
Right.
Do you feel like this might be that?
I feel like maybe this is a move where, Vivendi has kind of been trying to weasel their way into buying controlling stake in Ubisoft, and maybe Ubisoft looked at, the news of that came out, and they looked at the reaction, and the prevailing reaction from gamers seemed to be like, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Like, Ubisoft has not really been pro-consumer extensively in the past, so maybe they're like, it would be a good PR move if we put something like this out there, just a statement that brings people over to our side, and then at least we have like that going for us.
That actually makes way too much sense not to be the case.
Yeah,
because they've been going public with the fact that Vivendi is on, breathing down their necks now. They're not being shy about it anymore. They're basically confessing to people, this will make our company worse for you, the consumer, if this happens. So they're, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a cynical view of it, but it's also pretty realistic. Like, I think that's pretty likely, and it's kind of sad if that is exactly why, because it means that there's no actual goodwill that they're trying to harbor. But I mean, necessity is the mother of invention. So if that is what it takes for them to become that company, then I think the ends justify the means.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I have a lot. This is probably biased because, admittedly, I have had a pretty good working relationship with Ubisoft for a while, but I don't really feel that they are, the worst offender when it comes to just, nickeling and diming the consumer. They don't have a great track record, but they've never really been the ones shoving the shit down your throats. They've just been sort of the climb on top of watchtowers and do the same thing for the past 6 years company, right? I hold them a lot more accountable for that than I do ever for their poor microtransaction and DLC practices.
Though supposedly the Division DLC is excellent.
Yeah? Okay. Well, there we go.
The new one that just came out like 3 days ago. That's Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Put that out there. People love it.
They're I just think in general they were never really one I pinned the blame on that much as far as that was concerned. But yeah, it is also just, it's perfectly logical to make the connections, the aforementioned connections of Vivendi and all that stuff for the PR. So I mean, again, cynicism aside, it is definitely difficult to look at this as a bad thing, because they are more or less confirming that they are listening to the concerns of their audience.
Right.
It's one of those things, though, where I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Because for Rainbow Six Siege, it actually makes sense to deliver content like that, because the game, the principal driving force of it is the multiplayer stuff. So it kind of stays evergreen. And if you play it, now, it's pretty similar to playing it 6 months ago, which is pretty similar to playing it 6 months before that. Whereas, like, if you have a game like Assassin's Creed, for example, or Far Cry, like, you can't really come out with like a Far Cry 4 Season 2 and then be like, well, now you can...
They did. It was called Far Cry Primal.
Yeah. Right, yeah. That's actually really good.
Yeah.
Got him. But, like, what can you do? Like, you can come out with like a traditional expansion that adds, like another few hours of gameplay, or you could be like, well, there's new weapons or new modes that you can play through the original game with, but it's a little harder to kind of survive, I think, on that model of, well, we can come out with like 2 guns and people will pay $10 for it because it keeps them current in the state of things.
Right.
So for multiplayer stuff, I could see this happening for sure. And I mean, there's an idea of this working in single player stuff. Like IO is making a Hitman Season 2, which is just going to be like another series of Hitman episodes, basically. And I'm really interested to see how that turns out. But I don't really know if the Rainbow Six Siege model can apply to single player stuff, but maybe.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And Nick, it's like you said too. Like it's easier not to want to just crash and burn everything after you've made the most money out of it you can, right? When you have a legitimate chance to have a games as a service platform with a new release, like, you're right in that it does just make it a lot easier. But yeah. That's Ubisoft. We're good? We're good? We're good?
Yeah.
We're good. Cool.
Hopefully it means the right things.
I think it does, honestly. I'm looking
We'll
forward
wait and
to
see.
it.
Yeah.
The Steam Awards For the first time in human history, our Steam... They actually prefaced it like that. Our Steam community will decide the nominees for the prestigious Steam Awards. So,
like everything Valve is doing, they're just crowdsourcing it.
You say prestigious, does that actually make it prestigious?
Yeah, that's the only thing you got to do is just say, I can say the prestigious Roundtable podcast, and all of a sudden we have this
We've prestiged.
fancy new following, yeah. We've prestiged. I think that's when we hit 100 episodes as we prestige.
Roll over,
Yeah.
season 2.
Yeah. So they've got their own 8 categories, but the biggest appeal here is the fact that you can actually create your own category and nominate things for it. And I don't know if you can share your category with people and they can maybe nominate other things for your category. That'd be neat. But
You
let's.
can on Reddit.
Oh yeah, there you go. Let's look at the ones they've got though. Maybe have a little bit of fun with that. So the first one is the Test of Time Award. This award is for the game that is just as good today as the day you first played it. Newer games may come out, but it doesn't matter. You'll always come back to play this one. So I think, for the sake of our discussion here, we should probably put a time limit on like the age of the game for it to qualify for this award. So I want to say like 5 years or older. Is that fair? Can we do that?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Seems reasonable.
Release dates for my games because I don't know.
Yeah, really.
I've answered this question a few times. My answer is Spelunky.
Well, that's not quite hitting the mark though. See, that's 4.
not 5
that's-
years.
That's 4 years. See, it makes it harder. That'll probably be mine too, if I'm being honest. But
All right,
FTL?
Afterbirth.
Yeah.
Are you guys okay?
do you wait? Do you understand? I meant it had to have come out more than 5 years ago.
Oh, more? I thought you said within.
No, not
Sorry, I
within.
had it
Sorry.
backward.
So it's the Test of
Literally-
Time Award.
Literally every game I would say is like 4 years ago. FTL's 4 years ago. Super Hexagon's 4 years ago.
So that's why I'm introducing the caveat. But okay, let's make it 3 then. Let's make it simple.
Terraria.
Yeah, FTL.
Terraria, yeah.
FTL's nice and easy. There you go.
Wait, hold on. When did FTL come out?
FTL was 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, it was 2012.
Yeah,
November
2012.
2012, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you
It was
got
a
me.
Kickstarter and everything.
Yeah, Terraria beats the 5 year. Yeah, no, Terraria's mine too.
Okay, Terraria's there.
2011.
Terraria beats 5 years as well.
I mean, Minecraft wins this. Not on Steam though.
Minecraft only came out in 2014, though.
What?
I mean, technically,
Correct.
Yeah, I'm actually struggling myself here, man.
Fallout 3, baby,
Okay, there you go.
and
That's
New Vegas.
still just as fun, huh?
New Vegas is still great.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess I would throw New Vegas in there of the stuff that I played this year.
Ooh,
Rocket League.
Rocket
That
League.
did not come out 5
That came out 9 years ago, I guess, technically, if you want to get real with it.
Technically, yeah.
How about BioShock? No?
I
I
haven't
think it's a
played.
bad taste in my mouth with how screwed up the port is for the.
Yeah. That's true.
But I mean, like that game. That game's still like if you play the original and not the remaster, that's buggy to all hell. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's still fun.
Without like making myself public enemy number one, like I understand that BioShock's a very significant game, but it's a relic, I think, of like when zero games at all tried to be deep, or very, very few AAA games tried to be
Yeah.
deep.
Yep.
Like,
It's
you know,
the Fight Club of AAA.
I sort of, at
In a
least
way,
from
yeah.
like the hour I played before the keyboard just became unplayable for me.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, I get it. I really, really do get it. But at the same time, you're going through like the bathysphere and you're like, wow, this is amazing. Look at the size of this city. And then you get out and there's a zombie there that's like, oh, you don't touch my baby. And then, you know, it's got like a revolver is shooting in the air. And I'm like, ah. We're living in a different era for games where if you want to make like a game that's deep and philosophical, you can just do it and you don't have to have like zombies running around and then you like shoot them in the head, you know? Like
That impression was so good. Touch my baby.
I just want you to do like the cliff notes of like the first hour and a half of BioShock. It's like rapid fire.
I think we're forgetting a relatively important game here.
Half-Life
Dark
2.
Souls. Dark
Yeah.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay.
Dark
oh
Souls.
yeah, that's true.
I didn't forget it. Just, that game sucks, obviously.
Yeah, Dark Souls sucks ass. Why doesn't people even like it?
Also, like, the count
I'm
that,
looking
'cause
through
that
my
was-
list of games that I own.
Mhm.
I mean, some of these just don't hold up. You know, a game I recently started playing that's from '98 that's on Steam that holds up pretty well is Star Wars Rebellion. It's like a Star Wars grand strategy game.
Really?
Oh,
Such
yeah.
a Mathis answer.
It is a super Mathis answer, which is totally fine.
Oh,
But
I remember that. It had like a yellow box with red lettering, right?
there's some red lettering.
Yeah, red lettering. I put that on the shelf at GameStop once.
It was like it's a grand strategy game. So like it's not relying on graphics. It's more about strategy and numbers and management. So because that's such a simple concept, carries over well.
Neat.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rebellion's on Steam. It came out like 6 months ago.
I'm gonna throw in a vote for Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Oh man.
Another 99 title. Figured since we're back in that decade, I might as well throw another one
I
your way.
played that. It was like, all right.
It's a good time. I actually really
Little
like
puzzle
that game.
game.
Yeah.
Does he have a mean bean?
No, you get a lot of mean beans.
You
There's
stack them.
just full of them.
Okay.
You don't
Bean
flick the
stacks.
main bean?
Mm-mm. You can't flick the bean. You can stack them though.
You probably shouldn't flick any beans, to be honest. I mean, this kind of goes like us having trouble finding things. It kind of goes into like
Clitoris?
yeah, us having trouble finding the clitoris.
Speaking
Really
of
is how I
flicking the
go
bean,
over no, but having trouble finding games that are like older than 5 years old that still hold up. It does kind of like emphasize that this kind of indie game renaissance that's been happening is still like pretty new even now.
yeah, yeah.
Like there's been some really great indie games that have come out in just the past 4 years.
Mhm.
Name one.
You make a good point.
Got him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna nominate Planet Coaster.
All right, that's good. That's good. The next one up is the "I'm Not Crying, There's Something in My Eye" award.
To the moon.
Yeah.
No question.
Games are fun, but sometimes games become more than that and touch you in a way you weren't expecting.
Oh, that's kind of gross.
This award celebrates the games that blindsided you emotionally. You weren't expecting to cry. It wasn't in the plan, but it happened nonetheless. So can we put To the Moon in here? Because I think everybody kind of goes into To the Moon expecting a few tears, don't they?
Well, that's a weird category. Why do we have to not expect it?
Yeah, you got to be tricked.
Yeah.
Deceived.
Gone Home is up there for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, same.
Yeah, Gone Home's ending caught me off guard.
Cool. Ori actually had a little bit of an emotional response for
Ori
me.
made me cry in like the first 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that, actually.
I don't want to spoil Ori, but I feel like that game cheats.
It cheats.
Wow.
It cheats?
I love that game, but it makes you cry and then makes it totally pointless. It's like, oh, look how sad this is. Just kidding.
Oh,
Just
I mean,
kidding.
it's
It's
like,
cheating. I don't know.
let's talk about Ori for an hour one day, but anything, I don't know if there's anything else that really had any kind of emotional resonation with
That
me.
stare made me cry.
I guess like an honorable mention to Undertale. I didn't really have a
Undertale got me at the end, actually.
did it?
now.
Okay.
Same. Yeah.
Mhm.
And Brothers, of course.
Brothers.
Yeah,
Brothers
Yeah.
was up there.
Brothers.
Red Dead Redemption at the end got me.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
All
it's
those
a game, but
games
it did.
are up, but To the Moon destroyed me, like emotionally.
Yeah.
I just
Go ahead.
sorry. No. I was just gonna say like see you guys naming all these, like I can't name a single one because I can't play those ones. I don't want to get destroyed emotionally.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought.
It makes you a better man, Rob.
Yes.
Such like a video gamesy way to present this category is like it can't just be like an emotional game. It's got to be a game that tricked you because games are like games are fun, man. And then you tricked me into crying. You did, like
I never cried. This game.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Rob, you got to cry on stream, man. It's part of becoming one with the memeverse.
Well, actually, that just reminded me. The Walking Dead season 1. There were definitely parts of that
Yeah.
were hard for me.
The end made me a little upset.
Firewatch, the beginner's guide.
I really wish the Firewatch had, but I stick by there was too many obvious red herrings that like took away from the impact of the ending.
Just the beginning little text adventure part, though.
That was good. Yeah, the
That was
text
super
adventure
sad.
was good.
The beginner's guide, I still just.
The Bear hates the
Yeah,
beginner's
I don't hate it. I just didn't really like it.
No, it's all right, man. Let the hate flow through you and all that.
I like the Guinness guy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
What
not.
the fuck are these categories I'm reading through?
Oh, you just wait, man. Yeah, it's gonna get fun.
These are ridiculous.
Let's go to the next one here. The Just 5 More Minutes Award, which, I mean, that's just the Rocket League category, isn't it?
Oh no, dude,
on.
that's like
That's-
Civ was made for.
Yeah,
that.
that's the civilization.
Civ.
Yeah,
I'd say
it's true.
Stardew Valley is very similar to that for me.
Yeah.
You have an early day tomorrow. You need to get some sleep, so you're just going to finish one more thing before you decide to tuck in for the night. Just one more.
Any fucking grand strategy game.
Why do all the categories need to trick you?
I know, right?
This one's, it's not like game you can spend a lot of time playing. This one's like, you know, it's got to destroy your next workday or something like that.
No, seriously, I'm a responsible adult award.
Yeah.
Shadow Warrior 2. I can't get away from that game when I start playing it. It's like, I gotta kill one more big dude and see if he drops a cool panther.
Yeah. Are you still playing that?
On and off. It's like my late at night can't sleep game because I could just kind of mindlessly listen to a podcast and cut up dudes. Feels real good.
Have you gotten all the weapons yet?
I still haven't. That's the thing. That's what's driving me is I want to get the rest of the weapons, and I'm on ultra hard on my second playthrough, and it's still not dropped them.
That's awesome, man. That's a big selling point.
They're still adding more post game too. There's they're adding a whole loot system that it's got like tokens, sort of like the way they do those blood shards in Diablo now. So when you complete quests, it doesn't just give you money that has no purpose anymore. It gives you these orbs that are like a currency to get other better loot. I guess I haven't actually figured out how to do it yet.
Yeah, Civ 6.
Hearthstone for this?
Oh, Hearthstone.
But that's not on Steam.
It's not on Steam, but
you could sideload it.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah, Civ 6. I mean, Rocket League though, just 5 more minutes award is just it's poetic almost.
We did that a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna play for like an hour, 3 hours later.
When you get on a win streak, man, I remember those first few days of, you know, like the pre-release Rocket League. I just didn't want to stop because we were winning every game 9-0. It was just like building my ego incessantly.
Back in the day when like nobody else even knew how to drive.
Yeah.
Like, there was like an 80% chance they would miss the ball when they tried to hit it. And we were gods because we could actually like hit a 1 in 5 area.
Hit it toward the net.
Yeah.
I remember when flying meta came into existence, and I was like, "Ah, fuck, I'm out of this game."
Yeah.
It was like the
You guys know that you can fly in this game?
on the second stream we ever did of it, some guy in chat was like, "Hey, you know, if you jump and you point your car upwards and boost, you can fly." And that was the end. In hindsight, that's where it all came tumbling down.
That was just the beginning.
Should have never told us.
Can we just talk about Rocket League on a show for 2 hours?
No.
We've done that.
Rocket
I think
League.
XCOM 2 still counts.
Yeah.
XCOM 2 seems like that's a fitting one.
I think RimWorld as well. Like,
Yeah.
and honestly,
Yeah.
Planet Coaster as well. Like the games where like I have to set a timer for videos, and then when the timer goes off, I'm like, no, like you don't understand. I'm not ready yet. I have like another minute or two. I gotta wrap some stuff up here.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just trying to like build a lake, and then like 2 hours later, it's like, oh, it's done. That was what, like 10, 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, that can eat up 4-hour streams before you're even ready to start.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're here today to talk about an exciting new feature coming in our next update, custom training. We've heard the requests for new ways to train and elevate your Rocket League skills, Mathis.
Oh, God.
We've seen the fantastic.
This is the exact thing I need.
They're taking the Dota 2, the coaching system, importing it over to Rocket League.
Oh, are they really?
Is that what it is?
No,
I don't
they're
know.
making
I
it
have
to
no-
where you can basically set up a scenario. So, like, you put the ball up in a corner, you give it momentum in a direction,
Oh, that's
and
great.
put the car somewhere, and you can like save that and share it, and
Yeah.
so someone can just make their own tutorial and give it to the world, and it's gonna be awesome.
No, the reality is they're just going to hire the best Rocket League players and give them an hourly wage, and you get to hire them to come and coach you.
Ooh.
There you go.
Me and Kronovi are going to spend a
Already
night
have
together.
that in real life.
Listen, I did that once or twice when I was in my StarCraft 2 days.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah, I paid for coaching.
That's fine.
I considered doing it in Dota. at
It
the
helped.
time. Yeah, I'm sure.
Put that on your resume. You know, as like a StarCraft teacher.
Sure.
Yeah, probably.
All right. The Whoa Dude Award. Some
Okay.
games just melt your face. Maybe it was a crazy plot twist. Maybe you just got your wisdom teeth removed. Either way, this game blows your mind.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
I
got
got
your
my
wisdom teeth
removed.
So
Are you
just-
asking what games did I play after I had oral surgery?
You get on drugs.
Yeah, you're really drugged up, is what they're saying. So, like, this is the I just dropped acid award.
Oh.
Like, this game tricked me into dropping acid.
That's probably that one Darknet game, right? That one will probably do it.
One Darknet.
What Darknet game are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like some
You talking about Welcome to the Game?
I think so. Yeah, it's sort of like almost a text adventure. That game.
Yeah, it's a text adventure mixed with Five Nights at Freddy's like mechanics.
Oh, is that the one where you're like sitting at your computer? Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
And then, like, all right.
You're like looking at the dark web, and then you hear something, you gotta go like turn off your light, and
Right.
then sit and wait before the Russian guy
Dark
comes in
web.
the window and steals you for lewd sexual acts on camera later.
Explore the deep web.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Seriously though, if you like get caught, there's like a Russian guy comes through your window and like kidnaps you. Like that's the.
Why's it got to be a Russian guy?
I think it's a Russian guy. I don't know.
I gotta play this.
You should.
You should actually. Yeah, you should for sure play this. You've never heard of the deep web,
this?
Nick?
Have I heard of the deep web? Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay, I
What does
thought
that
you were
mean,
actually...
like a deep web game? Like, I don't.
That's where I was going. What does that mean?
It's like a text adventure where you like literally, like the whole thing is you're going into the deep web and you gotta like buy crack and heroin and stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like
You've got to buy crack.
I mean, the people I've seen playing it buy crack and heroin. I don't know if you have to, but I mean they did. So.
All right, I'm gonna do a no crack, no heroin run through on that.
That's
I
why I
can pull
did
it
a
off.
series on it, so you know it's good.
Pony Island is my nomination, by the way, for that category.
Oh,
Pony
yeah,
Island
okay.
was fucking weird. That was a great game.
And fun at the same time.
Yeah, it was. It was very enjoyable. I don't know what else, Bloom. Undertale. I can go up there. I really, really got impressed by Undertale.
Yeah. That was it definitely was surprising.
Also, important to note, I wasn't saying that was the game that blew my mind. I was saying that was the game that's most likely to make you buy heroin.
That was not the
Oh.
category.
Well, I mean, it should be now at this point.
The
Well,
heroin
you can make it a
purchase
custom
reward.
category.
Yeah, exactly.
Most likely to drop acid, I thought.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's the one, yeah. Buy heroin, drop acid,
Mhm.
now same thing.
All right.
I don't know. I don't like this category. I abstain.
Any of the categories.
I don't like any of the categories. What happened to best music? Now it's got to be like, game that tickled my ribcage with its xylophonic, symphony.
Well, I think
Undertale.
I've got one here that you'll really enjoy, Ryan. It's the best use of a farm animal award. Animals are rad, and almost any game is better for including them.
Stardew Valley.
Is this the Stardew Valley Award?
Yeah, it's the
yeah.
Stardew Valley Award.
I'm pretty sure this is the ultimate chicken
Yeah,
horse
man.
award.
Ultimate chicken horse.
Oh, yeah. Still Stardew.
Darkest Dungeon. For the
They use farm animals.
yeah, they got the swine in the
Oh
warrens.
yeah, that's true.
You guys kidding me? You didn't say Goat Sim?
Yeah.
I
That
hate
game
that game
is-
so much.
I love it. I can't get enough.
It's a bad game.
No, it's not.
Mathis hates that game, to be honest.
Yeah, it is a Mathis game. You got to get in on it. I'll make you a
It's
thumbnail.
not good. I don't like it at all. Why do you think I would like that game?
I mean, you do have a Princess Maker series, so I mean,
You mean I did one episode on it,
That constitutes a series, yeah.
as opposed to Ryan, who's played through the game twice now?
Don't even talk to me. I don't.
I'm
I
just saying.
fucking hate that game. I hate it so much.
Duck game.
Yeah, all
I can
right.
agree. That's
Yeah.
fun.
Is that a farm animal?
yeah. Do you have duck farms?
They're on the farm most of the time. There's always a lake.
If you
Alright.
make foie gras maybe on your farm.
Whoa, geez.
The
Foray grass?
the villain most in need of a hug award. I don't know. I got
Again,
Done.
Yeah, what the
these categories.
It's just goofy, man.
This is MTV Teen Choice Award Best Kiss winner.
This is what happens when you crowdsource awards.
No,
Well, I
these
mean,
are
these are the
Steam's
ones that
categories,
Steam-
man.
yeah,
They
that's-
came up
that's
with
what-
this shit.
Yeah.
And then I'm doubling it.
What does that even mean? Villain needs a hug.
Who's
Category.
Who is the most
You could be like, they should have just been like most sympathetic villain.
exactly? Yeah, who's the
Yeah.
villain you can most relate with? Right?
But this way you don't have to know big words.
But who cares? Like,
Wait, this
it
is
doesn't
exactly-
mean anything.
is serious.
This is
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Undyne. It's Undertale.
Yeah.
Yeah, Undertale, absolutely.
Yeah.
No spoilers, but like one of the main villains of Undertale, you literally give a hug at the end. So
Mhm.
Oh well, okay.
Like,
That's wins then.
isn't it like an award? You give it to a game, and then it displays the award, and then it's a shorthand. You look at it and go, "Oh, this game must be like at least decent in this category." But this award, if you see it on a game store page, doesn't mean anything.
No,
I
of course
nominate
not.
Northern Lion for most needs a hug.
Most horrible villain. It doesn't make any sense.
I think you're reading into this a little bit too much, man.
Who's the bad guy of Princess Maker, Ryan?
Pardon me?
The Princess Maker bad guy. Who's that?
I have no. Oh, you're talking about the War God?
I don't know. I'm asking who the bad guy
War
is.
God?
No. There's several bad guys in that game, depending on the path you take. Apparently,
Which one needs to hug the most?
the game is not very good.
I think Kate fucking loves that game.
Everyone's like, it's not a serious award. We're talking about it as if it's we're giving it like 10 minutes of discussion here. I just don't understand. It's like giving an award, like you get those superlatives in high school, and it's like, okay, most likely to succeed. That's a good one. Most popular, I guess that's important. This is like, best pockets. It doesn't mean it's not a. It's not
I
a
like that
compliment.
category. Who had the best pockets?
You're like, this is just everybody's got to get one superlative. So, give that guy best pockets. That guy's got nice ears. That's like where we're at.
Yeah.
In Undertale, when the dog steals that thing from you, like, that's a pocket play for sure. You didn't think the dog was in your pocket at all.
That's the Game Within a Game award.
Yeah.
That's another category. Like a mighty turducken, this award celebrates the best minigame hidden within another game. Like a turducken, that is.
That's a confusing.
It's a pretty neat
phrase.
Isaac-like inside Stardew Valley.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The crystal hunting.
What about Flappy Goat inside of Goat Sim?
Yeah, there you go. That's one.
I'm gonna
Took him
go
3
for an
years.
interesting one here. I think, was it Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2? But one of them has a zombie mode, the normal zombie mode, but then there's like a bonus little like twin stick shooter zombie mode that's inside of it. That's also really good.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember which Black Ops it was.
Oh, yeah, Gwent in Witcher 3. Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, that might actually just have to win. I mean,
What
they're
about,
making a goddamn game out of it.
Project Gotham Racing 2 has the original Geometry Wars inside.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
Was that
Is it really?
Which one is
That's
the
where
one
it started.
that has Pong in the loading screen? I know that was a long time ago, but that was another racing game, I think.
You mean Galaga?
So
And that
Was it
racing.
Galaga?
Yeah.
Oh.
It has to be Ridge Racer, right? Because Namco had that patent on
Oh
loading
yeah, we
screen
talked
mini
about that.
for like 30
Yeah.
years.
Mm-hmm. I don't really know of any other major ones. I'm sure we're missing some there. Yeah, that's more or less it. They got the I thought this game was cool before it won an award, which is a really great one.
The hipster
Dark
award.
Souls.
Yeah, that's the Dark Souls one right there.
Always remember, you totally found it first.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I was the only one.
All right, cool. Well, there's the Steam Awards. That was fun. You can also create your own categories if you feel there's a category that they missed. Maybe the best pockets on a character category. You do the why is this character in this game category. There's a couple that I can think of for that.
I want to see some games win awards like this game isn't as good as everybody thinks it is award, and then have to display that on the store page.
Can you have a thumbnail of Edmund typing like this?
All right, sweet. Well, there we go. While we're on the subject of Steam, it is Black Friday. There's also
Why is it gotta be Black
My
Friday?
condolences.
Why's it gotta be
Why can't
Black
it be
Friday?
Brown Friday?
Steam Autumn Sales. I'm not even going to touch that. Steam Autumn Sales going on now through November 29th. There's some good deals, man. So we're just going to knock a few of those out real quick and inform the public. I'll just start off. Doom is currently only $20. It's a pretty sweet deal. You can get that as well as Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain, I think was one we pointed out before, but $25.99. And then one that I really like, if I can find it again. I don't remember what it was. Oh no! Oh, Gungeon as well is also 50% off, $7.50.
It's a good game.
You get a stack of Tomb Raider games for $12.35.
Nice.
That's the
I
old
picked
stuff.
up the Division super cheap.
Yeah, that's half off as well, right?
Yeah, it's half off. Hey, I'm telling you, the DLC. It's basically they just added their own version of they what do you call it? That like Battle Royale.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
But it's like super, it's polished and has it, not in early access.
yeah.
And it's really good.
That would
And there's,
work in the
survival
Division,
elements
actually.
where you have to like drink and eat and keep warm,
Mhm.
but it's only like hour matches, so you're not in it for like fucking 4 or 5
How long
hours.
did those? It's like DayZ and what's the other
The
one?
H1Z1
H1Z1,
Battle
yeah.
Royale.
How long do those
Oh, those are
last?
short too. There's like 40, 45 minutes.
But those have like 64 people in each one.
I don't know if they go that high. H1Z1, yeah, actually, I think you're right. I think
it's higher than
H1Z1
that,
goes
actually, isn't it?
super high. I think H1Z1's like over 100.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they have like esports of that now too. Like,
Yeah.
I noticed Dan Giesling's been playing that.
has he?
Oh.
Yeah.
He's desperate to get away from Star Citizen.
Yeah.
We've got to mention, Civ 5 for 82 cents.
I didn't find that. Where the hell are you finding that?
Right
For
here.
85
It's like
cents?
Civ 5 and all the DLC is like $12, and
Yeah.
then if you
No,
go
it's
deeper
Civ
in,
5 and all the DLC for 82 cents.
no.
I can push it. I don't know. Maybe I
Are
have a
you
special
Austining
deal.
Steam now?
I see. We got Civ 5 base level is 75% off at $7.50, and then you got a 92% off deal for the complete bundle, which is currently $12.27, which is fucking insane.
Yeah, oh, it's Civ 5 Cradle of Civilization Mediterranean 82 cents.
Oh,
So like
I put it in chat.
the leader is 82 cents.
okay, that makes
That's
sense.
fake. Oh, yeah, sorry, I just doctored this image right here.
I mean, you are having that bundle.
It is weird. I wonder why yours
Maybe because I have the game already, or I don't know. If
Maybe it's like
Yeah.
everything that you're missing is only.
That-
That's actually
yeah,
what it is.
probably
Yeah,
what it
they
is.
adjust the bundle prices now
Yeah.
based on what you own in your Steam account.
that's confusing.
So,
bought
so
the
I'm
full
I'm
game
logged
already.
out, so that's why I'm seeing like the full price, which is it's still though. I mean, this is 92% off of all this Civ 5 shit. If you want to go for that bundle at $12, that's awesome.
This War of Mine is $3.99, which I think is about as cheap as you're going to get that unless you're an Amazon Prime member.
Highly recommended.
yeah, like let me sell you here. Why would you pay $3.99 for this war of mine when you could pay $5 for a month of Twitch Prime, give someone your subscription, and also get the Watch Dogs 2 rewards and Punch Club as well?
Yeah, those
Ryan's right.
Very good.
Yeah, he's got a good point.
Subscribe
those carry over from the previous month. Do you know?
I
That's
don't
what's
think
going
so.
on now.
I mean, like you can still have them after the month.
Okay.
It's not like it's a rental, but
Yeah.
The counter argument, though, is that you do have to get the Twitch downloader instead of get it on Steam.
correct.
So if you hate that, maybe it's worth $2, but we would love it if you didn't hate that.
Very good point.
I would anyway. I shouldn't speak for everyone.
We got Witcher 3 up here with a pretty hefty discount.
50% off.
Yeah.
It's
And then
really
20% off each one of the DLCs, and the DLCs are like separate entire games on their own.
Yeah.
So.
You can also get Witcher 2 for $3 goddamn if you haven't gotten that already.
Still worth playing
Yep.
Witcher 2. Witcher 2 is good. It's not open world. It's a lot more linear, but it's still good.
Is it really weird for me to say that like Witcher 3 is the most talked about yet underappreciated RPG game?
I don't
I
know if it's underappreciated.
How do you figure?
How do we
like-
appreciate it more? Do we just need
I
to
mean-
dedicate 3 shows a month to it?
I mean, yes, please, honestly. But like, it's so well written, and I don't know. Like when people think of like RPG games, they think like
Skyrim.
Skyrim, Fallout and stuff, and like those are great games. But like Witcher 3 is like a fucking another level on.
man.
I think it's properly appreciated.
We're very rapidly like hurtling towards an industry that is like The Witcher 3 is the only good game that's out.
I mean, every time The Witcher 3 comes up, I readily jerk off in its face. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's
I mean, me
like,
too.
properly appreciated.
Guys, buy Anti-Chamber. It's $5 on Steam. It's extremely good.
The writing in Witcher is fucking phenomenal, Rob, though. I will give you
Just play The
that.
Witcher.
Yeah, but buy Anti-Chamber, though.
Yeah, buy Anti-Chamber too.
Yeah,
Ori and the
that's it.
Blind Forest Definitive Edition, $10. A+. Please play
It's a
Ori.
Witcher adventure game?
Oh, Honey Pops $2.49.
Oh,
I'm in.
baby!
I'm in, boys.
Get it. No, seriously, get it. It's a great game. It's a great match 3 game. I'm
All right,
serious.
all right, no.
No, I believe it.
I added it to my wish list.
Honey Came Studio, on the other hand, take it or leave it. It's a clicker game, and it's not very fun. It's not a very good one.
Fallout 4, $20.
All right, at the risk of being
For $20.
too edgy,
Too edgy.
at the risk of being too edgy, how about I say, like, just buy something you think you're actually going to play instead of what makes the best deal as a
No.
min-max.
Yeah, that's way too edgy.
Because we've recommended like 40 games here already. That's like 1 year's worth of gameplay.
I'm working on collecting every Steam game, so for me, value trumps all.
It's like you said, if you buy Witcher 3, you don't have to buy anything else again. So it's
I'm just throwing out there
the rest of your life.
we compromise the cynical aspect of the show when we then go, okay, these games are on sale for like 30% off. Now's the time to like spend all of your money and buy them. Like, what if instead of buying Fallout 4 for $20, you just get Shenzhen IO for $15? It's 10% off.
Why did you have to preface your recommendation with the idea that everyone else's were completely unfounded?
There were times where I was enamored with the Steam sale, and I bought, a lot of stuff.
And then you became a YouTuber.
Well, but it's not even like the money. It's just that there's no time. Like, so I have all these games in my Steam library that I picked up. I probably spent like, $200 or $300 on games that like I just never played. And then they're in my library, and every time I see them, I go, well, like I could have had a sandwich instead. It's not that the game is worse than a sandwich. It's just I never found the time to fit it in. And then the next sale comes around and we're like, oh, you gotta get this. It's the cheapest it's ever been. But it's like, it's not the stock market. Like,
I think what we mean is if you were planning on buying this already, we're giving you the push over the edge.
I don't know, though. I feel like it is sort of manufactured demand, though.
Out of my own curiosity, real quick in chat, if you have a game in your Steam library that has gone unplayed, just one, throw up a PogChamp. Let me see some
it's like
podcasts.
everybody.
I'm pretty sure everyone in the chat will say it.
Easiest guess.
Thank you, Rumble Muffin just bought me Honey Pop, by the way.
Okay.
Good job, Rumble Muffin. You did him a service.
Nice.
You can't play it on Twitch, but you can play it on YouTube.
You can make play.
You can make play.
I haven't played The Witcher 3 yet, and I have that game.
You should play that.
Yeah, that's true.
I say you should never play it.
See, underappreciated. You know what I'm saying?
An interesting one. The Steam Link is actually on sale for $20, normally $50. So if you're looking for a way
20?
to, yeah, it's $20 for the Steam Link.
The controller.
That's really good.
Yeah, no, that's the one that lets you connect your TV to your PC and just stream your gameplay.
Is there a bundle with the controller too?
No, but the controller is also on sale. Oh wait, no, yeah, there is. It is 50% off the bundle, so it's $50 for the controller and Link right now.
That's a good deal.
That is a good deal.
That is a good deal.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Well, that deal turns me on.
All right, anybody else got one? I think that might do it.
In my opinion, the best deals on a Steam sale are like new, like games from within the past year that have come out that are 50% off or greater. So like I'll admit now, I'm like, yeah, Doom at 67% off. That's a smoking deal. I've got a good excuse to have not played it so far. It's pretty recent, and now I can pick it up on the cheap and play it. That's cool. But apart from that, I'm like, I mean, yeah, sure, you could get all Civ 5 and all the DLC for like $7 or something like that. But if you haven't done it yet,
right?
Like why now?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, if you've never played Civ before and, you have less than the cost of a candy bar in your pocket, then, I don't know, why not? You can literally sell a trading card for that.
Oh, yeah. Actually, shit, if you got, like, a pack of cards that you just have laying around, you can pick up a few games.
But Civ, that's just because Austin owns it.
Oh,
yeah, it's not actually 87 cents. It's like $5 or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's many trading cards.
No.
I've done this.
the rare ones.
Like, you got a good idea. I'm going to open all the trading card packs I've accrued accidentally.
Some of them are worth more still as a pack.
I swear to God, man, there was a point, like, for 6 months or so, I just wouldn't sell any cards. And then, like, one night, I would spend, like, an hour, and I would just list them all. And I'd be making, like, minimum wage just listing trading cards on the Steam Marketplace. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's, I think, the gist of it, though. There's the Steam sale. Going on through the 29th. Common practice for Steam sales, usually don't want to buy anything till the last day because they'll typically list the same best deals again. But,
and we're going to get the Christmas sale anyway. Yeah. So these are usually the scraps and then the real stuff's later.
Yeah.
Although sometimes it's not been, actually.
This is Black Friday, too.
2 booster pack.
Didn't the last sale make it so that they didn't do daily deals anymore, though? Like, so that you don't have to wait anymore?
Yeah, I was actually wondering about that. Maybe that's the case now. That might only be for...
It was the same price the whole way through.
Yeah? Okay. Well, never mind then.
I don't know if it's this time, though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's probably still a good practice anyway, just because, it doesn't hurt you.
100% orange juice booster pack.
Baby, what's the list price on that bad boy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just cracked it.
Oh shit!
You cracked it.
Did you check it before you cracked it though?
Absolutely not. No.
You could have wasted a whole 13 or 14 cents.
Not even min-maxing your goddamn trading cards. It's ridiculous.
I'm in a group call of people who wake up at like 2 p.m. local time. Rob and Austin, you're accepted from this.
I woke up at 8 today.
All right. I'm just saying, if you take the average.
I went back to bed.
I'm
though.
actually, you're dead wrong about that.
I don't want to derail the podcast, but that shit gets me every time. Where people are like, yeah, you know, I only started moving around at noon, but I woke up at 8 to turn my alarm off and go back to sleep for 4 hours. You woke up at 8.
I got up, I ate some food, and then I ended up dozing again.
All right, I want to talk about a game called Rec Room real quick.
Do it.
So, Rec Room is a free VR game for the HTC Vive. I picked it up and was just playing around with it for a couple hours the other day. It's really fun. They've got a few just kind of recreational games to play, and it's one of the first VR experiences I've had where they just sort of had an open lobby system where people were open lobby system. Yeah, it was really pretty.
Nice. Yeah.
But it was just people walking around in their VR headsets, and it was kind of neat. I hadn't seen that before. Just like a group of people that all had their persons with the hands and face that were interacting with each other. Some of them were having sex. So I mean, there's just that.
Nice.
That's just to be expected, I guess. But
We were watching CNN.
was that today that happened?
Yeah, apparently this morning or late last night. Yeah, they just played a half an hour hardcore porn on CNN.
Wait, what?
on a local affiliate, right?
Local affiliate, yeah.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Still,
It
though.
is, right?
Yeah, go CNN.
How did you
Sorry,
get 30 minutes though?
Oh, it's fun. So yeah, no kidding, 30 minutes. So yeah, you just you go out into this locker room area, which is where everybody can kind of gather, and the idea is you want to like go find some people to be like, hey, I want to go play frisbee golf. You want to go play with me? And they'd be like, yeah, cool, let's go play frisbee golf. So you get like 2 or 3 people, and then you'd select that door and you go out and you'd play. And so they've got the mini games built into it. They got that. They have a 3D charades game. They've got dodgeball and then paintball, which was the one I by far had the most fun with. I don't know if there's just a dedicated paintball VR experience yet. I'm sure there is. But this is just kind of a cartoony, laid-back version of it, and I really enjoyed it. It's a simple but really well executed and free paintball / other game experience. It's really nice. It's not heavily populated, unfortunately, so it's pretty easy to just be playing by yourself if you don't end up going to find people to play with. It forces you to be social, which is an interesting feature of a game that makes you say, hey, I'm a person, you're also a person, will you play games with me? Which is, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I can actually do that sometimes when I'm talking to strangers online. But yeah, it was really neat. So I recommend it. It's fucking free. So if you've got a Vive, definitely check it out. It's a REC Room, Rec Room.
That sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
Chad's saying the CNN thing was made up. My bad. If it was false, I don't mean to pass on false information. I thought it was a reputable source.
The headline was funny as fuck, though.
Yeah, at least I got a laugh out of it. It's generally pretty harmless.
Yeah. All right. There was also, just real quick, I want to talk about another VR experience I had last week, which was Lazerbait, which is an interesting name. But this is another free game on the HTC Vive. So if you're looking for free stuff, it's an arcade strategy game wherein you are controlling. Let me see if I can pull this video up actually, because it's a pretty good video for it. You are controlling these planets. And they've got these little ships flying around them. And so you use your Vive controllers and you direct the fleet of ships to go attack another planet. And it's mostly within this kind of contained space. I mean, it mostly plays within the box that you've set for your Vive. But you can kind of click and drag around and move the formations of planets to be able to access different parts. You can walk around, of course, and you can like look in and close and see and inspect what kind of battles are going on. It's pretty neat. Like it's a simple appearance, but just the gameplay itself becomes really frantic and fun really quickly. So you can customize the amount of planets, you can customize the amount of ships that show up, you can customize the AI difficulty, and I'm pretty sure the actual layouts are sort of procedurally generated. I'm not 100% sure how it works. But I played a couple of games of it. It's really fun. It is surprisingly intense too, especially when you crank up the difficulty a little bit. You start to have to manage a whole bunch of different planets at the same time. You're really frantically going back and forth. You're like adjusting the percentages of the fleet you're sending, so you've got like your home base, right, that you send all your fleet out from, but you've got to try to maintain the defenses while also attacking with your other ships to try to gain control of other planets. So it was really, I had a surprisingly good time with it, and it's an idea that I would never have thought of myself for VR. These are the kinds of things that are making me the most excited, I think, is just stuff that I wouldn't even consider, but it really works phenomenally in execution. So it's neat. And that's Lazerbait.
Well, you know what we need is a song for Bear's VR corner. Bear is like the staff writer we have that plays like 1 or 2 VR games a week and then comes back and tells us, okay.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. I'm really like I'm making an active effort to try to find, you know, like the VR game that's gonna blow me away right now, which I don't know if that necessarily exists yet, but I'm looking. Yeah, those
I
two
want
are
to be inside the vibe, honestly. Like I'm jealous, really.
It's a good time, dude. I love it. Yeah, so those are 2 free ones, man. Rec Room and Lazerbait. They're both free to download. It's really cool. All right, I'm going to pass the buck this time. Let's talk about Dishonored 2, which we've finally gotten to on the docket.
Hooray.
All right, Mathis, you want to take it?
Yeah. Has anybody else played it or beat it?
Nick did.
Not beaten it, but I played it.
Cool. So then at least you'll know. I just recently beat Corvo Low Chaos. I will be avoiding any and all story spoilers. I will say this about the game. So if you don't know what Dishonored 2 is, it's a first-person stealth action game. It's very similar to Dishonored 1. Are you playing as Emily or are you playing as Corvo, Nick?
I'm playing as the exact opposite of you, Emily High Chaos.
I'm actually on my second playthrough, like off camera, doing the same thing, Emily High Chaos, which is way more fun. But the thing with that I've kind of walked away from Dishonored 2 after having played it and beaten it is that gameplay is like an A+. It's very much improved, tweaked, but similar Dishonored 1 mechanics. But the story, I give like a C. It's very, without spoiling anything, it's very similar to Dishonored 1. It's very much kind of telling the same story with different characters again, which was kind of a disappointment overall. Also, the PC port was kind of a disaster. It took me like an hour or 2 of fiddling to maintain a solid 60 FPS on my machine, and that was with a lot of out-of-game fiddling with my NVIDIA control panel, as well as in-game fiddling with a lot of the options.
I was never able to, and I spent hours. I actually downloaded beta drivers and a beta of the newer version of Dishonored, and then updated those a second time, and I'm still fluctuating between 35 and 70, 80 FPS.
Man.
Yeah.
It changes just as you look from like here to here. It'll be like 85, 30.
Apparently, from what I was reading when I was initially messing with it, is that the FPS is tied to movement. So like as your mouse movement. So as you like, the shit like loads only as you look at it, apparently.
I think you mean it backwards, though.
Maybe it's the other way around.
Yeah.
That's possible. I'm just trying to remember what I read. But it's good. Like, I really fucking loved it. Like, I enjoyed playing all the way through. Corvo has all the same powers, but they have new upgrades. So you can get them all the old powers, but then they have, like, they branch out and there's some new additions to them that make them do other things. I would highly suggest, if you plan on playing it and you care at all about the story, play the DLC for Dishonored 1. Because a lot of the main story is tied to the 2 DLCs.
That's the Dunwall one?
Knife of Dunwall and Brigmore Witches, both of them. I didn't play Brigmore Witches, but I went and watched somebody play through it, so I understood what was going on. It's good. It's hard for me to say anything new about it because it really doesn't do a whole lot new with the formula, and the story is a lot to be desired, in my opinion. But the gameplay is smooth and excellent. And incredibly satisfying when you decide to play like a high chaos run.
Smooth when it's smooth, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, definitely. And Emily does feel like she's meant to be played as high chaos. Her powers are very tailored towards murdering everything. Where Corvo, you could go either way. What?
Emily's so brutal.
Yeah, she's super brutal. Her powers are fucking ridiculous.
You're like a freaking storm cutting off arms, legs, and heads as you go through a pile of dudes.
Yeah.
I've never felt that empowered to be a murderous psychopath in that, and beyond that game is what I'm saying.
That's gonna be that back of the box quote for you, man.
Yeah, it's really fun. Like, as far as brawler first-person games go, this feels amazing.
Yeah.
It's got that same vibe as like Shadow Warrior with how visceral it feels to move around the environment and cut stuff up.
If you want to feel like inferior, go watch a YouTuber called Stealth Gamer BR. All he does is stealth game stuff, and he's most notable for Dishonored 2 stuff. He's like really incredible to watch. I think the biggest improvement between Dishonored 1 and Dishonored 2 is the level design. It's way more open and a lot more vertical, and Dishonored 1 is pretty vertical. But they introduce a lot more optional areas to go to and hidden secret stuff, and there's a lot of story stuff. And it's not you have like a hub, your boat. But in Dishonored 1, you had your hub city where you do all your upgrades. Where your upgrades in this one is each level has its own mini hub before you go to the main level. And there's like runes and stuff you can find there. There's a black market in every one of them that you can go buy things from. And if you can find a way to get into the black market and steal everything from the black market if you want to do that. There's a lot more thief kind of built into the level design of Dishonored 2 than there was in Dishonored 1. But again, it just takes what was good and just makes that better in Dishonored 2. They didn't do much else to really innovate. Really, Emily is the big change in her power set. Everything else does feel a little copy-paste in design, especially in the story, like I said. The story just does not feel new.
Mm-hmm. But I think reframing the environment was like the biggest change they could have made.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, yeah, the story does seem a little bit boring thus far. It's a lot of like little pages scattered everywhere that don't really feel like reading. And I guess that's just games in general. I'll do that now. I'm probably going to avoid those in the future. But the general way of how they've set it up, there's more options to traverse a situation than I think I've ever seen before. It's comparable to something like Deus Ex, I guess, only you have complete vertical control as well.
Yeah.
You get the ability to leap a vast distance, well, not vast, but like 20 feet ahead of you very early in the game, which lets you scale walls in ways that you probably shouldn't be able to. So if you're trying to get around a patrol, you don't have to necessarily kill them. You don't even have to stealth around them. You could just literally skip that area.
Yep. Is like one of the. If you ever played Knife of Dunwall, the character you play as in that DLC, he has the blink that Corvo has. But when he blinks, if you're not moving, the whole world freezes. So you can like aim and be more specific. And that power goes to Corvo in this one. Emily, she has like a time slows when she's falling if she's teleporting. That's it. Corvo it doesn't matter where you are standing midair, as long as you're not pressing a key to move, the whole world will freeze, and that opens up a host of different areas you can go to. My biggest complaint outside of that is the AI is a little dumb. I played on hard.
Very dumb.
I played on hard. I didn't have a challenge. The only time I really did some save scumming because there were just points where I wasn't understanding how certain powers worked, and I thought I could do something when I couldn't. One of the things I did that just kind of talks about how bad the AI is you get the possession ability as Corvo. And there was a target I was trying to take out, but he was being followed by guards. Like, that was the thing. And I had upgraded the possession ability where I could jump into somebody and then I could just go from person to person. So I would just jump into the guard, jump to another guard, jump to the guy I needed, and I walked him out, and none of the other guards followed him. They're like, oh, there goes, the honorable noble whatever. Nobody's following him at all. He's just on his own. See you later. Bye, buddy. I'd walk him into a whole room, shut the door, and then I just pop out of his body and take him out. And none of the guards were like, where did he go? Like, they just watched him walk away. I was like,
It's probably the wind.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you notice this one particular line coming from NPCs over and over where you cut somebody's head off and some lady will be like, I think someone's ill.
Oh, no, I never heard
Like, what?
That's awesome.
That just needs to be removed because they're not ill. They're beheaded.
they're dead.
I feel safe when you're around.
Yeah, exactly.
But I really enjoy picking up their heads and then dropping them on patrols. And as they panic about why there's a head, you come in and cut all their throats.
Yep. Oh, it's
fucking brutal.
Yeah, the game is. I'd still like highly rate it. It's super fun. But if you don't give a shit about the story, play High Chaos. Just fucking kill everybody. It's way more fun that way.
Right on.
Yeah. Cool. Once they get the PC port running perfectly, and if you haven't bought it yet, you might still want to wait a little longer. Once they get that sorted out, though, I feel like this is going to be a solid game for anybody who liked the original.
Yeah.
Is that not a worrying trend, though, that sentence you just said? Once the game starts working.
Oh, of course it's a worrying trend. I'm just giving you the facts the way they are, right?
I just feel like there's more and more and more of those. Even Pokemon, I guess we'll talk about it in a little bit here, like has problems too.
I was doing like a little research. Again, I didn't like deep dive and figure out what was going on, but I guess part of the problem is they use Unreal in the first one, and since I guess they were forced or had to use the id tech for this one, and I guess
the Rage engine.
Yeah, Void or whatever they're calling it. But I guess id tech is notorious for not really being optimized really all that well, and can be problematic. And since they're a third-party developer, they're not in-house. I can see them having issues with it, and they were probably forced to hit a deadline. Not really saying it's an excuse because it isn't, but gives a little insight as to why maybe it wasn't running well.
Quick tip too: if you're having frame rate trouble, try playing it in borderless windowed mode. I actually got like 10 to 15 FPS higher just from changing that.
The thing that helped me majorly, if you have NVIDIA, go to the NVIDIA control panel and go to the option that says maximum pre-rendered frames and change that to just one. Just allow one maximum pre-rendered frame. And
just the stuff you're supposed to do when you buy a game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Go into the INI and change
This is worse than the INI because you wouldn't even figure that out unless you heard it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
man.
still good.
It's so funny to me. It's just like indicative of how they treated the PC port. Like their little their blurb section next to the screenshots, it just gets cut off at the end, and they include the same quote from IGN twice, one right after the other.
Really?
Yeah. All right.
Well, it's a good game despite the bad port.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Dishonored 2 still $60 on Steam. There you go. Let's talk about the Agony demo real quick, Nick. I actually played a little bit of this myself, but you're probably going to be a better
you did?
resource. Yeah, I checked it out a little
Wait,
bit.
when you say a little bit, the whole thing's like 15 minutes long.
Yeah, no, that's about it.
All right, so Agony is a game that's on Kickstarter right now, and I normally don't even like to talk about Kickstarter games, but I do feel like this one has been a bit of an exception. It's getting quite a bit of press lately.
Lots of buzz, yeah.
Yeah, so the game is developed by Madmind Studio, published by Playway SA, and is due out Q2 of 2017. It is already completely backed, and I think they've doubled their goal.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like just about.
Yeah.
They just made $400 in the last 5 seconds, which is pretty crazy.
Oh, Jesus. Wow, that's awesome. So the game is a survival horror game set in canonical hell.
Yeah.
You play as a lost soul who wakes up in hell and has to figure their way through, and during the course of it, you'll be exposed to all sorts of traumatic, horrible things, as you would expect in hell. And it's got this very macabre sort of beauty to it. It's one of the prettiest games I think I've ever seen, which is saying something because you're looking at like limbs, corpses, blood, pregnant women ripped open, toothed doors, demons. It's a beautiful game, and we probably can't show you footage because there's boobs all over it too, so be aware. It is not for the faint of heart. Almost every few moments you're going to be seeing something you'd rather probably not see. But again, there's a sort of a weird macabre obsession with how dark can the human spirit go, and like what can we dream up that's the most gross thing possible. And they actually take that hell concept pretty seriously in this one. And I've been very interested in seeing where they could take something like this as far as an idea for an adventure or a first-person survival game. And I think it's more of an adventure than I think a first-person survival game. That was
Parse
very
that one out, yeah.
It's also got a bit of a stealth mechanic in it too. You're going to be hiding in corpses and like away in little cubby holes sometimes.
Of corpses.
Of corpse.
Of course.
So in general, the only little bit we got to play was just a little section where you walk through a few hallways and you look down at this bound up demon who's stuck at the bottom of a hole, and the goal says you're supposed to possess that demon. And you make your way down, get exposed to a couple of lesser demons who try to kill you on the way. They probably will because the level design's a little confusing there.
Yep.
And you don't not quite know where to hide. But in the course of it, you'll make some discoveries about what hell's like, and you'll get to make your way down and see some pretty stuff as well. There's these little like purple shimmery areas, which are sort of like safe zones, and they're quite nice. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it just gave me a really happy feeling toward like, where is this game going? Seems really good. Seems like a solid game. And a happy feeling from a hell game is always a good
I want that out of context quote on their screen, on their Steam.
Yeah.
Agony.
Hell
It's
game,
a really happy
really
feeling.
happy feeling. It's just absolutely beautiful. That's really the basic thing. The sound design's fantastic as well.
I got a
What do you
code
think
today,
there?
so I'm going to check it out.
So
Nice.
I had a different experience. So I agree weirdly with you in that it is gorgeous in a very macabre way. But
very smooth too. It played really well.
I actually had a little bit of jitter, but it was probably just on my end. So it is obviously the game is intended to have quite a bit of shock value. The premise is this is a hellscape and all of your worst nightmares are here, right? But I guess going into it with that mindset might have hindered my experience a little bit because it just sort of dispelled immediately any sort of suspense or tension or fear I was supposed to feel. I wasn't like intimidated by it at all, right? I mean, this is the demo, so I suppose it's not really meant to really be that visceral, but I just kind of like when I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to. When you get to the first like demon that is there, that is a threat to you, it's this big old vagina-looking thing with the vagina
like a
head
Venus
with
flytrap
teeth.
split in half.
Yeah, it's got like big old boobs hanging out. It's just this freaky thing, and it just starts to like slash my throat and tear me up and stuff. And like it was visually impressive, and I get the theme and the atmosphere is really just ridiculously horrifying, but with that being the case, it never really struck a chord with me in the way that I think it was supposed to, right? I only felt not a disgust, but like okay. Instead of
so you're saying the ambience sort of normalizes the lack of humanity you have in the situation because you expect this being in hell.
100%, yes.
Fair enough. I don't even know if there's a counter to that argument. It's kind of something you either like or don't, I suppose.
Yeah. That's fair. But yeah, that was the feeling I really got from it. I think I'm going to check it out more honestly, even though this isn't even necessarily my cup of tea as far as games go, but it is it's caught my interest at least, and like playing through I think actually like the breathing mechanic and the hiding and all that stuff, I could actually kind of get into that because I think that would probably be a lot more intimidating for me, right? It's like if I was really focused on trying to stay hidden and stay alive as opposed to just kind of walking around and checking it out, which maybe it might, now that I think about it, it might just be like more of the way that I approached it as opposed to the way that the game played. But
did you watch the trailer before it?
No, I didn't watch the trailer.
Okay, see, I watched the trailer, and the trailer is essentially all the stuff that happens in the demo.
Oh.
So I kind of had the whole thing spoiled for me already, and I didn't know I had that spoiled for me.
Yeah.
I was hoping it went past where the trailer ended, but it didn't. So the point where like you encounter that first demon, I'm like, okay, this is the part where I'm supposed to hide.
Yeah. Right.
And I did, and it still got me anyway, and I was like, oh. And that sort of brought out this one sort of negative I think I have, and I hope they address this more in the game proper, is that being that this is a game set in hell, you have no expectations about how the level design would work.
Yeah.
There's no frame of reference in the human understanding of what this world is supposed to be that would tell you, okay, there's a door here that would probably lead to a door there that leads me to this place. You just go, okay, there's weird geometry everywhere. Is there a cue that tells me I should go this way? There isn't really, so I'll just wander about.
It's just mostly corpses and limbs.
Yeah, it's mostly corpses and limbs and tooth doors and flame shooters, which is cool to look at, but if you don't know where you're going, it's going to become a little frustrating when you keep getting killed by the same demon because they don't go away and you have no way to defend yourself. All that happens is they kill you, you turn into a spirit, and then you try to possess someone else somewhere else in the hopes that you're making progress, but you don't know where progress lies, so you don't know if you made that progress or not. So again, I think it's just one of those things where they're going to have to bear it out in the actual gameplay. It might not even be a problem, but in the demo, I felt like it was a little bit frustrating, maybe.
Yeah.
The game's so pretty, though. I didn't even mind wandering about.
It is very strangely beautiful. Yeah, I got to agree with you there. All right, yeah, that's the Agony demo. Kickstarter's still going. You got like 2 weeks left if you're interested in supporting that.
I'm 100% playing through the whole game when it comes out.
Yeah, I actually saw it on Kickstarter. I think I was just browsing Kickstarter, and it did look goddamn gorgeous. So I can't wait to play that. Actually.
Oh, I didn't even realize the Canadian goal is $66,666.
Yeah, they said it that way on purpose. Yeah.
All right, cool. Lastly, but not leastly, Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
Who wants to take it? I'll just throw it to the floor. Who's grabbing this?
What's your question?
How do you like Pokemon Sun and Moon?
It's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. No. It's tough to review a Pokemon game because you go in with so many expectations that you know are going to get met already. So
So let me
really-
let's establish the talking point here. So let's say if just talk to me about it actually, because I'm
What
genuinely
is
curious.
Pokemon really?
Can you explain?
Pokemon is a multiplayer.
Kind of Pokemon.
So I haven't played a new Pokemon game since Pokemon Blue. So
Oh wow.
I guess just
You
like
are like me because I didn't play one since Silver.
Mhm.
But I am playing Moon.
Okay.
So
I want to hear it from your perspective first, then, if I could.
yeah, sure. I'm really liking it a lot. I just finished completely the first island last night, which is like 4 or 5 hours. I feel like I'm gonna come off cynical because I read all the reviews and everybody's like, "This is like the best Pokemon game. They've done so much new stuff." And coming from somebody who the last time I played was Gen 2, it's still goddamn Pokemon. That's the thing. It doesn't do fucking jack shit new other than there's shinies, which is new to me, which is like a 1 in 4,000 chance that a Pokemon shows up with alternate color scheme and slightly better stats. Breeding is a lot more intricate if you know what IVs and EVs are, but those have existed since Gen 1 to some extent. The animations is gorgeous. The game looks really good, and I hate that Pokemon still sound like they're fucking like Game Boy level growls though. Like their growls are still like
Nostalgia,
You
right?
really like
Some
those
of
just 8-bit sprite
yeah.
sounds?
Most of them sound like horrendous. Yeah, they all sound fucking
Gen 1.
That's a really good impression.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
my
Caterpie.
8-bit Pokemon impression.
yeah. But I mean, it doesn't do anything new, basically, in my opinion. They replaced gyms with island challenges, but in the end of the day, they're still just gyms.
Gyms, yeah.
They're still doing just gyms. And they introduced something called Z powers, which are the most anime thing you could think of, where you get a Z crystal and you can give it to your Pokemon, and unlocks a Z power, which is like a really long animation with a super powerful ability that you can't fucking skip.
Minutes around.
Every single time you use that ability, you have to watch the cutscene, and it's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's a Pokemon game, and it's a fun one. It's gorgeous. It's fun. The Pokemon are kind of like, I really enjoy every one of their designs so far. It's neat. It's a fun Pokemon game that I'm enjoying.
Sweet.
I mean, you're totally correct. Like, I mean, people who play Pokemon understand that something that's new for Pokemon is something that's just standard for any kind of sequel for another game. It is still exactly the same game. Yes, there are new things, but they're very small differences.
The reviews I read felt so super disingenuous. They're like, this is
really
the best Pokemon game since, fucking whatever. It does so much new, and I'm like, no, it doesn't.
I mean, like at the it doesn't. It's not. I mean, the thing is, you can't really leave the formula that much outside.
I agree.
It's a typical, like, you got to keep the standard battling and stuff and stuff like that. The things that it does do that are new, however, is it does make esports a little bit more viable with the new game, with a new tiered system, which is good, because in the in previous games it was just kind of like esports was an afterthought, and it still is in this one, but it's like less of an afterthought, which is nice, because there is actually a pretty competitive scene there. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff you could do with that, and in keeping with that, a lot of the new moves are like, there's been a lot of balance changes to make the game more just really more balanced, more and kind of more fun in the competitive scene as well. As far as like, the story goes and stuff, it's Pokemon.
Oh god, Team Skull is like fucking unbearably stupid.
It's what I
supposed to be, though.
I get it, but Team Skull, like, that's the bad team. This one, Team Rocket in the originals. Team Skull, they walk up, and the way they walk, every time they walk towards you, they've got like baggy pants. There, it's like what a 70-year-old quad of a millennial is, and like they walk up with their hands doing this, and they constantly do this, like, yo, I'm gonna steal that Pokemon. You can't stop.
Did they say
me.
that?
That reminds me of the antagonist from the very first town in Earthbound. Like the arcade kids, and you gotta like fight the boss of the arcade.
I like them for that exact reason, though. Like they're so lovably stupid.
They're so goofy. It's the best.
Are they
so
juggalos?
good? Yeah, they basically are.
One of the things that Pokemon Sun and Moon does well, which it continues from Oris, is that it makes so many things. Quality of life improvements are so good. It makes so many things that are annoying easier. Shiny hunting's easier. No more HMs. You don't have to fuck with that anymore.
Oh, there's no more HMs?
There's no
Yeah,
more
HMs are gone.
They're gone, and the
Fantastic.
new system is very smooth, and it's honestly perfect. It's the way it should be. It's no longer annoying. And there's a bunch of other ones like breeding and then other things that are all a lot easier. So it continues that trend of making the game more accessible and less annoying.
What does the H stand for again in HM? I know it's machine
Hidden,
something.
right? Hidden
Hidden?
machine, yeah.
What happens to a Pokemon where you give it a machine? Is it like a nano machine? You like inject them?
No, they show you it's a disc, so you just inject it into their butthole.
You pop it on their face.
Yeah.
You push a disc into their face and they learn a new move.
Yeah.
Now you give them a crystal, and before they can do their move, your trainer has to do a little Z dance.
Yes, do a dance. Yeah, it's like totally a K-pop dance too.
Oh, it's
every time.
I do want to talk about the two glaring issues, though. There are two pretty significant problems
Is
with
one of them frame rate because
one of them is if you don't have a new 3DS, if you have a 3DS XL or a 2DS or not the newest model, for certain battles, double battles, and even just Pokemon calling SOS for help, the frame rate is god awful. It's like 12.
Oh, really?
it's really bad.
Ouch.
Totem battles too.
It's almost unacceptable how bad it is.
Yeah.
And
If it's 12, it just is unacceptable.
it's horrendous. And again, luckily, it's only for double battles, which are not too common, but it should not happen. Someone fucked up. They should have optimized it better before releasing it, but what are you going to do? And then the other one is the tutorial is like 2 hours long.
That's
Oh
the
my
big
God,
one
I
I've
was
heard,
just
yeah.
It's
Not
even
exaggerating. It's roughly
That's a fucking Kingdom Hearts tutorial, man. Shit.
2 hours long.
It's
One of the longest tutorials I've ever seen.
the worst part is like the most integral parts of the tutorial are super quick. Most of the tutorial is just a man fucking talking to you, and then you talk to a girl and she just fucking talks to you, and then you have to watch a cutscene of a Pokemon falling down a bridge, and you have to fucking skip through dialogue of that.
The pacing stabs you to death. Once you finally get past that, it speeds up, it smooths out, and it's much better.
One thing that I'll say too, as like a major gripe with it, is like while the SOS chaining that they have in the game, which is basically what it is a Pokemon can call for help, right? And then you're battling a Pokemon. You have one, they have two, right?
Oh,
it's great for shiny hunting, but if you're the type of player like I am, where you want to catch them all, as you've been indoctrinated to do, then it makes it really annoying to catch Pokemon until you get quick balls, which is like it's kind of frustrating. Like, granted, it makes the shiny stuff a lot easier, which is nice, but if you're not like that into the shiny hunting, it's kind of frustrating.
You need hypnosis, dog. You need a sleep move.
No, exactly. I mean, like, that's the thing. It's like, but it's like, instead of HM moves, now you need to have a status move on at least one of your Pokemon through the single player. And it's like, I don't like being forced to have a move just because I want to catch a Pokemon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I haven't had as much of a problem with that because I don't really catch.
You don't catch any Pokemon. Yeah, I don't know what kind of fucking Pokemon trainer you are.
What the hell are
Never
you
catch
doing
them
not
all.
catching Pokemon?
I catch enough for my team, and then that's all I need.
What?
You
I
don't
watched
even catch enough for
Rob
your team.
play for like 20 minutes, and all he did was walk around in a square in the tall grass, and then like he's like, "Oh, that's not the right Pokemon," and then he just run away. And then he'd walk around in the tall grass, that's not the right Pokemon, run away.
Well, that's what I meet Rob. I'm with you, man. That's what I
Yeah.
did. Like, I'm gonna go play Pokemon and catch them, and then 3 hours later, I'm still running in the same patch of grass. Where's that goddamn Pokemon?
Yeah, like I actually am a statistical anomaly because I was trying to catch this 12.5% chance female Salandit for 4 hours. I had 50 battles. The chances of me getting that, like the chances of me not finding one was like 0.004% at that point. And in that time, I caught 3 1% Kangaskhan's and a shiny Cubone, which is 1 in 4,000. So
I know somebody who
had
apparently this is like a massive statistical like thing. She hatched a shiny female Rowlet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
apparently that's like
awesome.
super impressive.
Because
Yeah,
female,
like,
I think
cool.
starter females are like 12% too. So
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm currently trying to catch a shiny female Salandit, and
Yeah, good luck.
I can't
One
wait
out of
until I
500.
understand what the fuck you guys are saying.
Basically, you need the female, because only the female evolves of that.
yeah.
thing.
It's a rare case.
But
Most of the time it doesn't matter.
the difference between Sun and Moon is interesting. I found because Moon, which is one I'm playing, its hours is 12 hours ahead of normal, whatever your time is.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever your real time is, Moon is 12 hours ahead. Sun is there, and there are, other than certain Pokemon not showing up in Sun and Moon, other Pokemon have different evolutions depending if they evolve in Sun or in the Moon game.
Cool.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, actually, in that on that note, is another minor gripe that I have with the game. I mean, they've been doing this for a while, so I don't know if it's like specifically Sun and Moon, but some Pokemon, especially in this game in Sun and Moon, can only evolve at night, or they can only evolve at day, and stuff like that.
I hate that shit.
I don't like it.
Or if they're only a certain level of happiness.
Right. Yeah. Well, the happiness is fine because that one you can kind of grind with the day and night thing. The problem is like I can't play the game at night. I don't have time. Like I'm doing things at night. Like I don't have time to play it at night. So like I have to fuck with the game's time and date settings in order to get the Pokemon that I want. Which is just kind of frustrating. It's like it's like, and you know, this is a game for kids at the end of the day too. And you know, maybe sometimes they got to do fucking homework or something. They can't play after 8 p.m. at their local time to evolve their Pokemon.
Any like requirements that you got to be awake at 2:30 in the morning and be in Birmingham, Alabama, in order to unlock this evolution or some shit.
Pokemon Go is like that.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think there's a way to change the time of day in game. And post game this time around, I think.
Oh, really?
I think you can manipulate it. Yeah, but I think isn't that only Umbreon and Espeon? Is there any
people?
other?
Chat says,
Marowak.
Chat says you can swap the day-night cycle by 12 hours at a certain place in the game after you beat it.
After you beat it, huh?
Yeah.
So I take it there's a new game plus then, and you would want to.
There's always like a post game, yeah,
There's
where
a
like the
post-game,
hardest Pokemon and the most legendary ones become available for you to catch and all this other stuff.
I suppose that makes sense. So after you beat the game, it makes it a lot easier for you to get 100% completion, right? So that works, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Another positive of the game is that not by much, but it is a little bit more difficult than Oris, so that's a plus. It's still easy.
Yeah, it is a little bit more difficult. Yeah, he's right.
Sweet.
A little bit more challenge to it.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I turned off immediately because it actually made the game way too easy is you get something called an XP sharer. What it does after every single battle, it doesn't matter if any of your Pokemon fought, they all get experience, so they'll all level, which removes some of the grind, which I understand is like a godsend for a lot of people. But for me, I was like, that just makes the game too easy. But you can turn it off, which I learned, and I turned it off.
So that is that just like a permanent passive upgrade then as soon as you pick that up? It's just
an item in
time?
your yeah, you can just it's on
You can just
in
disable
your bag,
it, yeah.
but you can go to it and just turn it off.
Oh, okay.
I think it's nerfed in this gen.
It seems so.
Really? Because it's fucking powerful still.
No, in X and Y, like I was having like level 50 Pokemon battling against like level 20s, but like in this one, it seems like I'm more in like I'm still over leveled a little bit, but I'm still more in line with where I should be with the XP share on, which is nice. Honestly, like a good thing to add, just even a slight bit of challenge to the game is just changing the option from switch to set. Because what that one does is it makes it so that you don't, it doesn't give you that option like, oh, this guy's about to send in this Pokemon. Would you like to switch Pokemon? It doesn't give you that option. It just plays
it just
out
jumps
like
right into it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it makes it like it's an online battle, which is nice. It adds just a slight bit of difficulty. But at the end of the day, you're not really playing Pokemon because it's difficult,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, you're playing it for the Pokemon and because it's fun. And you know, in that regard, the game's great. I mean, I'm having a great time.
Yeah, I'm having a blast with it too.
It's one of the best design-wise of the Pokemon since like Gen 1 and 2. So that's another.
Wait, so let me put this together. So the game can drop to 12 FPS. It doesn't really do anything new. You have to grind shit at times that are inconvenient for you.
You're picking out all of the negatives, man.
I'm just like,
you're
I
cherry
don't
picking.
see how it's the best is the thing.
No, it like if you so I've been playing Pokemon for over a month now, right? Like I'm doing the I mean, I've been playing Pokemon for years, but I mean, like I've been streaming Pokemon like every day for over a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Compared to the ones that I was just playing, which is X and Y and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, the story feels like a breath of fresh air because of the lack of gyms. And even though it's a totally superficial thing, it does feel considerably different. Because at the end of the day, the only differences between any Pokemon game is like, what story are they telling and what Pokemon are in it, right? And this story is considerably different because the rest of the main gameplay loop is always going to be the same for Pokemon.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't change that. I don't think.
This is just a
Like,
dopamine rush.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's all variable ratio reward. Like that's the whole thing. And you know, you just I don't think they should change that, frankly.
A lot of people who play Pokemon don't really want a different game. They just want another Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still think they should develop a PC Pokemon MMORPG.
Well, Break,
All right. I
break
mean,
new
I
ground
didn't
there.
mean to be a dick about it. I was just reiterating the points you said as the low points and wondering why it was the best on top of that.
Well,
The
there
FPS
is also. Sorry, what?
I said the FPS thing is a huge problem. That I think does bring it down. But overall, I mean, it's about the quality of life is usually the big change, and that's much improved in this one.
Someone who's coming from Gen 2 and is now jumping into Gen, you said 7, is it? It's as similar as it is to the older stuff as someone who's 15, 16, 17 years older than last time I played. I'm enjoying a lot more of the intricacies of stuff that I didn't really enjoy the first time around when I was a kid playing it, like the IV, the EV, breeding, trying to catch shinies. Like that aspect of it is really fun for me for some reason. I think a lot of that was reignited with Pokemon Go as well, and that's kind of carrying over for me into the new game.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah,
Is this the one you would recommend to someone who's never played Pokemon before if they were to pick up any of them?
That's a good
Absolutely.
Yes.
If you're into the idea, I would preface that if you're into the idea of turn-based battle systems and capturing Pokemon, like if that core aspect of the game is something that you're like meh on, you're gonna fucking hate the game because the story isn't gonna carry the game for you at all. It's all about the mechanics, and if you don't like the mechanics, then you're not gonna like Pokemon.
That's true, honestly.
I should preface too because I've made negative things happen. I have played a lot of Pokemon. I've played Pokemon Blue. I've played Pokemon Yellow. I have Platinum. I have Pearl. Leaf Green. I think that's all. But you get the idea. I put several hundred hours into the game, so I'm not just being a dick to be a dick about it. I was just curious. There's one other thing I wanted to ask. Oh yeah, what's the process like for trying to collect every single Pokemon that's been in every gen up till now?
Oh, do they include all of them?
You can't yet.
There's 300 that you out of the like 800 or whatever there is that you can catch in the game, and then once the I think January rolls around, you'll be able to trade and get the other 400 or so.
Do they have those? Do they have those trading incentives in this as well for Sun and Moon, like they did with Red and Blue?
Trade evolutions, you mean?
Trade Evos? Yeah.
No, I don't think there's any of the.
Well,
I don't
they're
think they really do that anymore.
the Alolan Pokemon sometimes have trade Evos, but those are the ones that are carried over from Gen 1. So like Golem, there's an Alolan Golem, right? And
I got you. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still a trade Evo, but it's not like they haven't made any new Pokemon that are.
And isn't there like I don't know the specifics of how it works, but from my understanding, there's QR codes you can scan, which will make very specific Pokemon appear on the island.
Huh.
Yes.
And you can go catch them or something.
I think how it works is when you scan a QR code, there is you have one chance to battle that Pokemon in the grass that you're around or whatever, your next encounter or whatever, or one of, I think it's a percentage chance for him to show up in the first place, and you have one chance to catch him, and if you catch him, you catch him. But it makes it easier to complete your Pokedex if you wanted to do that. But yeah, I mean, like Austin was saying, the Alolan Dex there's 300, there's like 800 Pokemon all throughout the series. Only 300 are accessible right now, but in January it's going to be everything. So.
But you'll need to transfer them from like the early games through a bunch of different machines up to this point.
Well, if you want your old ones, but I mean.
Wait, so you can recatch ones that were previously inaccessible?
You can't catch them, but you can trade for them on the market.
Yeah.
Well, how does anyone get them into the game to trade with them?
I think more. Yeah, I think Oris had like a significant amount of older ones that you could catch.
Okay.
And X and Y as well. I think X and Y, Oris, and Sun and Moon all together, I think you can catch nearly every single Pokemon.
Well, in X and Y and Oris, all 721 were in those two sets. all of them were in those. So like with the extra Alolan Pokemon, you can have them all.
People are yelling Pokemon Bank. What the fuck is Pokemon Bank?
It's the Pokemon. So Pokemon Bank is a thing that you can buy for $5 a year. And essentially what it allows you to do is it allows you to transfer over Pokemon from like Pokemon X and Y and Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire into your into any one of those games, kinda. Although you can only send them one way over to Sun and Moon now in January when that's available. Actually, the cool thing about Pokemon Bank actually in January is they're gonna have this thing. So they have the original games on the DS store now. So they have like Red and Blue in their original forms. You're gonna be able to transfer those Pokemon into Sun and Moon too.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
neat little thing.
Right on.
It's a lot of work. It's all a lot of work.
That's Pokemon Sun and Moon. I'm really glad we had Robin Austin on for that. That was much more in depth than it would have been otherwise. Cool. And we had Beholder on here actually. Mathis, you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, Beholder. So all right, we'll tackle Beholder real quickly.
Yeah,
Beholder is a game on Steam where it's kind of a management / Papers, Please-esque mashup where it takes place in a tyrannical, like dystopian future where you're hired by the government to be the landlord of this building, and your job is to spy on all of your neighbors and make sure they're not doing anything illegal. Every day or so, there'll be a new thing that is outlawed by your government. It says this person, like apples. People are not allowed to have apples anymore. So you need to, like, if you see them with apples, you need to take a report, go into your secret office, write down the report, then call the government and be like, these guys have apples. And they'll send the cops over and like beat up your neighbors and then arrest them and take them. You have to refill the apartment with a new neighbor. And you basically are improving your building over time, installing secret cameras and things. On the surface and for the first couple of hours, I was like, this game is awesome. Like, I really like it. And then it got weirdly complicated and it got really muddy with like what was okay and what wasn't, and it almost felt like it was giving you a lot. It was throwing a lot at you without fully explaining what it was throwing at you. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you played it too, right, Bear?
Yep. And I completely agree with you in that I was in love with it when I first played it, and I was like so in love with the idea. I was infatuated with it, and then it just so quickly I got burned out, just because there gets to be a point where if you had not been planting items or in some way kind of like framing your tenants in order to benefit from the government payments for doing such things, then you're going to be screwed. Because there's almost no way to recover if you've been playing by the book, quote unquote, the entire time. And it's really frustrating because of that. Like, there were multiple instances within like 5 episodes of playing it, which is probably, like a total of 2 or 3 hours game time, where I felt like there was nothing I could do to recover, and that like a restart was borderline necessary. And it really left a bad taste in my mouth after such a positive impression of it from the start.
Yeah. Because they introduce it and like the art style is really cool, and the way they present the game is really awesome, and the idea alone caught me. I was like, that's cool. Like, I really like this idea. But it's crazy how quickly the whole game unravels under its own ideas.
Absolutely.
And how poorly they're managed. Because I would love to see a game in that setting and just spy on your neighbors, and also, trying to improve the building and make the apartments bigger or whatever, unlocking other apartments and repairing them. And there's a lot of stuff there that's great, but it's just not as good as I would have liked. One small complaint too is that all the art style is fantastic, because everybody's a black silhouette of like their character. I very quickly started getting confused as to what neighbor was who, because they weren't distinct enough. I'm like, wait, is that Mr. What's-His-Face, or is that the other guy upstairs? I don't know who that is. I don't know if he's leaving his apartment or not. I can't tell.
Which becomes really important. Like, it's a critical factor. You need to be able to identify people really quickly.
Yeah, you need to be like, oh, he's leaving? Okay, hang on. That'll give me, a little bit of time to crack into his apartment and place secret cameras or plant evidence or whatever. Yeah. It's a shame. It really boils down to like, could have been so good.
I almost want to try it again, but man, it was so fast. I think knowing ahead of time what I should be doing, it will probably, go a lot smoother, but I still think there's just some balancing issues at its core that really need some work. Or at least,
agreed.
maybe slow down the rate at which you introduce stuff. I mean, after the kind of tutorialized segment of it, it felt like I had 6 or 7 missions at once all of a sudden. Some of which, yeah, exactly, and some of which were mutually exclusive to one another. So like I couldn't even do them. It was really strange. But yeah, I love the idea. I love the presentation of it too. It really, I just feel needs some core gameplay work. Unfortunately. Yeah, that's it though. That's Beholder is $10 on Steam right now. It came out November 9th. We've been putting that one off for a while. Glad we got to it at least. But yeah, hopefully, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if I would come back to it, honestly, if it got like a balance update or anything. But I did like the idea quite a bit. Okay. That will take us to everybody's favorite segment. It's Ask Roundtable. Every single week, you can send in a question to roundtableyt@gmail.com. We'll do our best to answer it. This week's question comes from Trevor. And Trevor says, hey, guys. Love the podcast. Absolutely fantastic. Bear's my favorite. He's really attractive. I made that last part up. With the release of the NES Classic Edition, do you think this may be the beginning of a new trend in the video game industry? If it sells well enough, do you see a possible release of perhaps the SNES a few years down the road, or even a Sega release possibly? So how far down the console handheld timeline do you think this might go? And he goes off to, rattle off like PS1, Xbox, GameCube, Game Boy. And if you see this happening, which console re-release would you be most excited for in theory? Also, I'd like to ask Ryan to try some Bon Jovi for the Nick's Weird Games theme song. You can probably do that. A little bit of Living on a Prayer, maybe?
Yeah.
All right.
Or, It's My Life.
Sure. I'll take any.
It's another classic.
Nick's Weird Games, it's now. Yeah, I got you.
There you go.
I don't know if I see the trend going much farther, if even to the GameCube / Xbox era.
Yeah.
I don't think if it gets that far, I don't think it'll go any farther. But I think at the end of the day, the reality is you can get any of these games online if you really, really want to. But it's nice having the novelty of it. So I would enjoy having like an N64 console with a bunch of games on it. I think that'd be really cool.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
The sheer.
I have a PC though.
Yeah.
I own all the actual consoles and I have emulators, so I'm done. I know I'm not everybody though. I know I'm probably the minority there.
I don't actually own my N64 anymore, so it'd be nice to have another one.
The popularity of the NES Classic is pretty baffling, though. I mean, eBay.
Yeah, I still don't get it, except for the idea that it must be like, well, you bring up the case that you could just buy an Ouya and then get it done. People are like, yeah, but I don't want an Ouya. I want the NES Classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you're a kid and like your friend buys like a Gen 1 iPod, and then your parents are like, well, you can get this creative HD MP3 player that looks like a brick, but it has like 10 times the storage and it costs $100 less. You're like, I don't want the better thing. I want the iPod. I want the form factor and the click wheel. And, it's like, I feel like it's like that. Like you could just already get all the NES ROMs on your phone if you wanted to, but there's like a little street cred collector aspect to it that I don't get.
It just boils down to appearance?
I mean, not just appearance, but the fact that it's like it's a Nintendo product, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a lot of brand identity with Nintendo that people actually value, as opposed to just a generic product that might be easier for them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have nostalgia for Nintendo more than a lot of other old consoles.
Yeah, you wouldn't see this kind of like cultish camaraderie over a Genesis re-release, I don't think.
Right, yeah.
Well, unless it had Sonic and Knuckles on it.
It would. What else would it have?
Yeah, that's the thing. What other things would it have on it?
I read the in a YouTube video I watched, they were kind of bantering about what the point of this was versus having expandability, having like an SD card slot.
Yeah.
And they were speculating that it might be that they've just sort of held off a lot of the biggest classics so they can sell another NES classic like Gen 2 with different games on it in the future. So we're going to like collect little consoles.
Yeah.
I know this is all speculation, but like what if they actually did that?
I wouldn't be shocked. I really wouldn't be. I mean, like we've seen I mean, we've had that fucking as seen on TV 40 games one joystick shit for so long.
Right.
And now the fact that NES Classic has come out will maybe kind of legitimize the idea of, oh yeah, we can just repurpose the Sega Genesis into an emulator with 40 games on it and sell it in stores again for $50, right? Like, I think it kind of validates that position.
But why have they made the virtual console then? Like, you've already got a console that plays all these games. Why are you buying them again?
I think then, yeah, it just becomes
they're
like...
selling the original shape, man. That's all they're fucking
yeah, it's
doing.
like Ryan said, exactly. It's just
I don't
like...
know the intrinsic value of that shape. I don't understand.
we don't
Crazy,
understand it.
Apparently, it's a lot though.
Yeah.
With shitty tiny little cords, too. The cords are like this long.
Fucking, I swear to God, right now, there is a guarantee from eBay that if you list your NES Classic, you'll make like $200. They guarantee it. They've like sent out emails to frequent sellers saying, look, this thing is selling like fucking hotcakes right now.
Really?
So it's just, it makes
The
money.
best part is that freaking Nintendo console, you can't add any more games to it. So they can just make another one with different games on
Yeah.
it and be like, "This is the NES Classic Second Edition, 30 different games."
Right.
So, boiling back down to the original question, do you think the trend will continue?
If it sells like this, yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, but it's hard to say because they've kind of intentionally undersupplied the same way they did with the Amiibos, right? So we don't know if their sales figures are actually amazing or they just intentionally wanted to sell out to give the appearance that they're amazing.
I think the numbers...
It's went on sale, right? Like, it's pretty new.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. I don't know about the numbers, so I can't confirm or deny that. But yeah. All right. Cool. Well, yeah. Thank you, Trevor, for the question. Appreciate it. If you got a question, you can send it over to roundtableyt@gmail.com. And now, time for everybody's favorite segment after their favorite segment is Nick's Weird Games. We got a Bon Jovi theme song, don't we? While Nick goes to acquire his weird game, we will be graced with the musical stylings of Mr. Latorno. Take it away. Oh, you're muted.
He's muted.
You're muted.
All right.
There you go.
To the tune of like "Living on a Prayer," that would be like, you know.
Yep.
I mean, this is off the top of the dome piece, but it'd be like, Nicky used to game on a box. The year's 2002. The disc kinda sucks. It's weird. So weird.
So weird.
Yet another Japanese game. A 3 from Game Pro. OPM says it's lame. It's weird. So weird. You gotta hold on to Nick's Weird Games. It doesn't matter if they're almost all the exact same. We got a collection. We might as well use it for something. It's Nicky's Weird Games. And that's, you know, something like that.
We have to call him Nicky for the purposes of that song, which I
Yeah,
really
you know,
like.
it's
Well, it's, you know, it's not John used to work at the docks.
Yeah.
It's Johnny used to work on the docks.
Hell yeah. Oh, we missed that. Good shit. Okay. Nick's Weird Games. Take it away.
All right, let's play, everybody. Close your chats and be prepared for we have a DS game today.
Oh, yeah. Robin
And,
Austin's why we
if
brought
you don't know
on
how we
today.
do this, by the way, I give hints. Everybody guesses, and you guys are welcome to guess along in chat. Hopefully, I'll see the first person who guesses it correctly. You don't win anything, but you get pseudo points the same way you do in Whose Line Is It
One
Anyway?
time, randomly, I'm going to give somebody like $10,000, but I'm not going to announce it or anything.
Oh, there you go. So you might be that person. Probably won't, but you never know.
Yeah.
All right, so today's game, like I said, is for DS. It came out in North America in 2007, which makes a lot of sense because it's a DS game. It was right around the time when those things happened. Developed by HAND, not Hand, but HAND. Published by Square Enix.
Particularly if
Okay.
you wanted to make it an acronym.
What system was it for?
DS.
DS, okay.
It's a kind of a hybrid of multiple genres. It's got a little bit of an RPG, a little bit adventure game, a little bit of a card battle game, and some mini games integrated as well. Has a single player and multiplayer. In fact, even has Nintendo's Wi-Fi connection, if you can believe such a thing. And is a spin-off of a larger series.
Oh, okay.
It's Elite Beat Agents.
No.
I was gonna say I played that. That was not. There was no card game in there.
It's primarily known for its sort of paper-crafty looking art style.
No idea.
I'll give you a second here.
Anything to do with Final Fantasy?
Well, see, I can't answer these questions. People keep asking the questions.
Can I just say Final Fantasy and I win?
No.
No.
Damn it.
Thought for sure I got him.
Okay, so the general premise is that you explore a 3D environment to find picture books, and as you find them, you're transported into the pop-up books to complete mini-games.
Oh.
And when you finish the mini-games, it opens the path to the next part of the story.
There was a Final Fantasy game that did that. Oh, fuck. What was the name
Put
of it?
up or shut up, Mathis.
No,
Final
I
Fantasy
see it.
Chronicles,
see
Final
it.
Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy Worlds,
Final Fantasy Party DX.
Final Fantasy
X
Madrinas.
Racer chair.
I see like a little cheat, like in my mind's eye. What I remember is like a little like pencil hand drawn, like chibi character on top of a chocobo. That's all I remember.
Is it Final Fantasy chibi character on top of a chocobo?
You're not super far off, but that's not
Is
it.
that an acronym?
I don't know the name. I know you're talking about a Final Fantasy game, but that's all I got.
Has chat gotten it?
Chad has gotten me.
Okay.
Yeah. Although they keep saying the wrong title, it's like just slightly off. There's like one word they've got a little
Is
off.
it like it's Final Fantasy? It's like a weird word, right? Kind of an abnormal word.
There's a word
Is
that
it
comes
word?
after it, and then there's like two more words as a subtitle.
Okay.
Game was generally reviewed fairly well. It didn't sell very well, but it did review fairly well. It got a lot of like 8s, 3.5s out of 5.
Final
So, like-
Final Fantasy blank within.
No,
Oh, all right.
but that is a pretty good template for guessing Final Fantasy
I'll
games.
fill in a couple. Yeah, I'm lost then.
I'm
I'm just gonna look all Final Fantasy games real quick.
Final Fantasy, Integrity, and Faithlessness.
Alright, what Final Fantasy game is it, Nick?
Okay, if we're done, this is Final Fantasy Fables Chocobo Tales.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Hey,
weird
I was
game,
close.
It's a weird game. It's actually a pretty good game. I liked it. It had a card duel system with over 100 cards to collect.
man. Sweet.
Anybody ever try this in chat?
No.
If you haven't, you may want to. It's actually pretty fun. Good luck finding it, but it exists. Let me see. So everybody kept saying Chocobo's Dungeon, which I know there is a Chocobo Dungeon series, but it is not this game.
Oh.
So it's kind of hard to decide who won there because they kept kind of botching the title.
Oh, I was thinking of the actual film Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within,
Spirits
directed by
Within.
Hironobu Sakaguchi.
Oh, are we talking about Hironobu Sakaguchi?
We're sure talking about Hironobu Sakaguchi.
I really like his film Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
2001 classic.
2001, Donald Sutherland. Of course, Ming-Na was in it. At the time, she was known as Ming-Na Wen, but then she is later split.
Yo, Alec Baldwin and Steve Buscemi were in this?
Correct, yeah. Steve
Yeah, that
Buscemi
movie
plays
was
the guy
fucking
who looks like
awful.
Steve Buscemi.
I'm going to say it was Light Teb was the first person to get the exact title correct that I see in my chat. So congrats.
James Woods? What the hell? Where? What?
Listen, have you never seen that
no,
movie?
I haven't
Bear?
seen it.
Oh my god, it's fucking horrendous.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's awful. Like
Yeah.
awful. Watch
Oh
it.
man. All right.
I mean, that was like, well, video games are a big deal. Then we can make a movie and make millions.
Yeah.
Let's just get all the best actors we can think of for the price point, despite the animation budget is going to be really high. So let's just get like
$137
the
million
only-
budget. Jesus Christ.
The only thing that's Final Fantasy about it is there's a character named Sid in there.
Well, that is very Final Fantasy, to be fair. Okay, cool. Next Weird Games. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'll do it. That'll do it for another episode of Roundtable Live. Thank you for joining us. So, moving forward in December, first of all, thank you very much to Last Grey Wolf and to AlpacaPatrol for joining us today as well. Austin, where can I find your stuff?
Find me at twitch.tv/last_gray_.
Undergore,
Twitch.tv/undergore. That's where you can find me.
Okay. Rob, where can they find you?
They can find me at AlpacaPatrol everywhere. Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at AlpacaPatrol. And shirts at teespring.com/AlpacaPatrol.
And
for a couple more.
as far as we're concerned, for the remainder of 2016, again, we will be hosting the show here on twitch.tv/Roundtable Podcast on Fridays at 12 o'clock Pacific. That's changed for the rest of 2016. I'll go back to 3 o'clock at the start of 2017. Also announced on Twitter a couple days ago, actually, but thank you very much to Madrinas, who are going to be sponsoring the remainder of the shows in 2016. Big out to them as well.
Boys.
Really exciting stuff.
Boys.
I think that is all in way.
Wait.
What's up?
You guys want to see my impression of BaerTaffy?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. It's a two-step process.
He's gonna go get his Madrid.
Boys!
We're in the vibe.
Got him!
That's good old-fashioned family-friendly fun, man.
I was confused. I thought you were doing like Geordie LaForge.
Oh, it was a bit of Star Trek, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also a little bit of fun news. It seems like Mr. Edmund McMillan is going to be joining us in a couple of weeks on the show, so that's exciting too.
Ooh.
And yeah, so there we go. So thank you all very much again for watching another episode of Roundtable Live. You can catch the VOD over on YouTube, BaerTaffy, Mathis Games, Rock Lee Smile, Northern Lion. You can also follow us on Twitter at RoundtablePC. Catch the show discussion on roundtablepodcast.reddit.com and rate the show 5 stars on iTunes because that's still a fun thing to do. You can also download the MP3 files directly from SoundCloud. I don't know if I've been announcing that, but that is definitely still an option for this episode and all episodes prior. And that'll do it. You can, of course, support us over on patreon.com/roundtable if you'd like. And the people we want to thank at the $20 tier and above include Logan Ray, Smurfette, Justin, Mediocrities, Mythscara, Positron, Brizzlebrip, Eric Schooley, Christopher Flagg, Oren Saltzman, Mavier, Greenlight, David Schmitz, Colby Klein, Scotty119, Jonathan Graham, General Crunk, and Julian Avelsgaard. Thank you all so very much for keeping the support up over on Patreon. And that's going to do it. I'll have the music pulled up. So, Rob, tell me what you had for breakfast.
I haven't eaten any food today.
Thanks for this episode of Roundtable Live. We'll see you next time.
Autumn.